In the beginning, before time itself had meaning, before space stretched across infinite darkness, before the first stirring of life or the gentle whisper of wind through empty void, there existed only silence, a profound, complete silence that held within it all possibilities, all potential realities waiting to unfold like flower petals in the first light of dawn. And from this primordial nothingness, from this canvas of pure possibility, emerged the alpha Pokémon, the original one, the being whose very existence would shape everything that would ever come to be. Arceus. The name itself carries weight beyond mortal comprehension, syllables that echo through dimensions and resonate in the deepest chambers of creation. Arceus. Some say it differently, Arceus, and both pronunciations hold truth, for such a being transcends the limitations of language itself. Arceus stands as the supreme deity of the Pokémon universe, the cosmic architect whose divine will breathed existence into the vast expanse of nothingness that preceded all things. Picture, if you will, the moment of creation itself. Not the violent explosion that some might imagine, but rather a gentle awakening, like the first light of sunrise slowly spreading across a still lake. Arceus emerged from an egg, though this was no ordinary egg. This was the primordial egg, a perfect sphere that contained within its shell all the potential energy of existence itself. As consciousness stirred within this cosmic vessel, reality began to take shape around it. The shell cracked not with violence, but with the soft sound of new life entering the world, and from within stepped forth the most magnificent being ever to exist. Arceus appears as a quadrupedal creature of pristine white, its body adorned with golden accents that seem to capture and reflect the very essence of Starlight. Upon its back rises a distinctive cross-like structure, a wheel of divine energy that rotates slowly, eternally, marking the passage of time that Arceus itself created. This wheel, this crown of creation, holds within it the power to alter the fundamental forces of the universe. The being's eyes hold depths that seem to contain entire galaxies, wisdom accumulated across eons that stretch beyond the ability of mortal minds to grasp. Standing at over 10 feet in height and weighing more than 700 pounds, Arceus possesses a physical presence that commands reverence. Yet there is something profoundly gentle about this cosmic deity. Its movements are fluid, graceful, each step deliberate and purposeful. When Arceus moves through space, it does not walk as earthbound creatures do, but rather glides with the serene confidence of one who shaped the very dimensions through which it travels. The creation myth tells us that Arceus, upon awakening to consciousness, found itself alone in the void. But rather than despair at this solitude, the original one felt a deep, abiding love for the potential that surrounded it. This love became the driving force of creation itself. With its first conscious thought, Arceus began to spin, its divine wheel rotating faster and faster until the very fabric of reality began to weave itself into existence around this cosmic dance. From this primordial spinning emerged the fundamental forces that would govern all existence. Time itself was born from Arceus's will, flowing forward in an endless river that would carry all events from their beginning to their eventual conclusion. Space unfurled like an infinite tapestry, providing the stage upon which all future dramas would play out. Matter condensed from pure energy, forming the building blocks of stars and planets, of mountains and oceans, of every grain of sand and every drop of water that would ever exist. But Arceus did not create merely to create. Each act of divine will was imbued with purpose, with love, with the desire to bring forth beauty and wonder into the universe. As the original one continued its cosmic work, it began to shape specific aspects of reality, crafting with infinite care the elements that would define existence itself. From its divine essence, Arceus brought forth the legendary Pokémon who would serve as the fundamental forces of the universe. First came Dialga, the majestic steel and dragon type Pokémon who would become the embodiment of time itself. Dialga's creation marked the moment when past, present, and future became distinct concepts, when cause could precede effect, when the story of existence could begin to unfold in ordered sequence. With Dialga's first breath, time began its eternal flow, measured not in seconds or minutes, but in the grand epochs that would shape the development of reality. Alongside Dialga came Palkia, the water and dragon type Pokemon who would govern space itself. Where Dialga brought order to when things would happen, Palkia determined where they would occur. With Palkia's awakening, the concept of distance was born, of here and there, of the vast expanses between stars and the intimate spaces between atoms. Palkia's domain became the very stage of existence, the three-dimensional theater in which all stories would unfold. But creation needed more than just time and space to flourish. It needed the spark of consciousness, the ability to think and feel and dream. For this, Arceus created Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, the lake trio who would become the guardians of mind, emotion, and willpower, respectively. These three small but incredibly powerful psychic type Pokemon were tasked with ensuring that the beings who would eventually populate the universe would possess not just existence, but awareness of that existence. Uxie became the keeper of knowledge itself, the repository of all wisdom and learning. In its infinite memory were stored the secrets of the universe, the accumulated understanding of how reality functions at its most fundamental level. Mesprit was given dominion over emotion, over the feelings that would drive beings to love and create and strive for something greater than themselves. And Azelf became the guardian of willpower, the force that would enable conscious beings to make choices, to act upon their knowledge and emotions, to shape their own destinies within the grand design that Arceus had created. These 5 legendary Pokemon, born directly from Arceus's divine essence, became known as the Creation Trio and the Lake Trio, though such simple names hardly capture the cosmic significance of their roles. They were not merely powerful Pokemon, but living embodiments of the fundamental forces that make existence possible. Through them, Arceus ensured that the universe would be not just a collection of matter and energy, but a living, breathing, thinking reality capable of growth and change and wonder. As these primordial forces took their places in the cosmic order, Arceus began the next phase of creation. The original one reached out with its divine power and began to shape matter itself, forming the first celestial bodies. Stars ignited across the darkness, their nuclear fires providing the light and warmth that would nurture life. Planets coalesced from cosmic dust, their surfaces cooling and hardening into the solid ground upon which future generations would walk. Among all these worlds, one held special significance in Arceus's grand design. This world would eventually become known by many names, but it was here that the most intricate and beautiful aspects of creation would unfold. Here, Arceus would craft not just landscapes and oceans, but an entire ecosystem of beings that would embody every aspect of existence itself. These beings would be called Pokémon, and they would represent the infinite diversity and wonder of creation made manifest. The word Pokémon itself carries deep meaning, though its origins stretch back to the very moment of creation. It speaks to the idea of creatures that exist in harmony with the world around them, beings that embody specific aspects of nature, of elements, of concepts both physical and metaphysical. Each Pokemon would be unique, yet part of a greater whole, individual expressions of the divine creativity that flows from Arceus itself. As Arceus contemplated this world that would become the crown jewel of creation, the original one began to understand that such a complex ecosystem would require careful tending. The forces of time and space, of knowledge and emotion and will, would need to be balanced and maintained. Natural cycles would need to be established and preserved. The very concept of life and death, of growth and decay, of the endless dance between order and chaos that makes existence dynamic and meaningful, would need careful oversight. And so Arceus began to create additional legendary Pokemon, each one designed to maintain specific aspects of the world's natural order. These beings would be powerful beyond mortal comprehension, yet they would be intimately connected to the world they were created to protect and nurture. They would be the guardians of creation, the divine stewards who would ensure that the beautiful complexity of existence would continue to flourish throughout all the ages to come. In this way, through acts of divine love and infinite wisdom, Arceus began to populate the universe with beings of wonder and beauty, each one a reflection of some aspect of the original one's own divine nature. The cosmos began to sing with the harmony of creation, a symphony of existence that would continue to grow and evolve, guided always by the gentle, loving presence of the alpha Pokemon who had brought it all into being from the silence of the void. The first of these legendary guardians to emerge from Arceus's divine will was Dialga, the magnificent temporal dragon whose very essence became intertwined with the flow of time itself. As Arceus shaped this majestic being, the original one imbued Dialga with dominion over all temporal forces, making it the master of past, present, and future. Dialga's creation was a moment of profound beauty, as the dragon's steel blue form materialized with intricate patterns that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of seconds and minutes and then hours. The diamond embedded in its chest became a focal point for temporal energy, allowing Dialga to perceive and manipulate the stream of time that would flow through all of creation. With Dialga's awakening, time began to move in its proper course throughout the universe. No longer would moments exist in stasis or confusion. Instead, a gentle, steady progression would carry all things forward, allowing for growth, change, and the beautiful unfolding of countless stories yet to be told. Dialga's roar echoed across the cosmos, establishing the fundamental rhythm that would govern all existence, ensuring that every sunrise would follow softly every sunset, that seasons would turn in their proper order, and that life would have the precious gift of moments to experience and cherish. Soon after, Arceus brought forth Palkia, the spatial dragon whose pearl-adorned form would become the guardian of all dimensions and the vast expanses of space itself. Where Dialga governed when things would happen, Palkia would and regions. Palkia's salmon pink and white form moved through the cosmos with grace beyond description, its very presence causing space to ripple and flow like gentle waves across an infinite ocean. Through Palkia's power, the universe gained its structure and dimension. Galaxies found their proper places in the vast expanse. Solar systems arranged themselves in harmonious orbits, and the countless worlds that Arceus had envisioned could finally exist in their designated locations. Palkia's abilities ensured that space would be flexible yet stable, allowing for travel between worlds while maintaining the integrity of each unique realm that the original one had lovingly crafted. The third of these primary guardians emerged as Giratina, a being whose creation carried with it a profound lesson about the nature of balance and redemption. Giratina's form was unlike its temporal and spatial siblings, bearing an otherworldly appearance that reflected its unique role in creation. The original one designed Giratina to understand and govern the concepts that others might find difficult to comprehend, the spaces between spaces, the antimatter that balances matter, and the realm that exists as a reflection of the primary world. In Giratina's creation, Arceus demonstrated divine wisdom about the necessity of duality in existence. Just as light requires darkness to be meaningful, and just as joy gains its sweetness through contrast with sorrow, the primary world would need its reflection to maintain proper balance. Giratina became the guardian of this reverse world, a realm of equal importance, where the laws of physics operated in fascinating counterpoint to those of the main dimension. This was not a place of punishment or exile, but rather an essential component of cosmic balance, as vital to the universe's health as any other realm. These three creation dragons, as they would come to be known in later ages, represented the fundamental forces upon which all existence would rest. Time, space, and the balance between matter and antimatter became the foundation stones of reality, each governed by a legendary Pokémon of immense power and unwavering dedication to their cosmic duties. Together, they formed a trinity of guardians whose combined efforts would maintain the stability and beauty of all creation throughout the endless ages to come. But Arceus's work was far from complete. The original one recognized that while the fundamental forces of existence were now properly governed, the world would need additional guardians to oversee the more intimate aspects of life and nature. And so began the creation of legendary Pokémon who would tend to the emotional, intellectual, and spiritual needs of the countless beings who would one day call these worlds home. From the depths of divine compassion emerged Mew, a being so pure and gentle that it would become the ancestor of countless other Pokémon species. Mew's pink form radiated innocence and joy, its large blue eyes reflecting the wonder and curiosity that Arceus hoped all living beings would carry within their hearts. The original one imbued Mew with the ability to learn and use the abilities of any other Pokémon, making it a living library of potential and possibility. Through Mew, Arceus established the genetic foundation from which the incredible diversity of Pokémon life would eventually spring. Mew's playful nature and boundless curiosity made it the perfect embodiment of life's endless potential for growth and discovery. As this ancestral Pokemon explored the newly formed world, its very presence began to inspire the emergence of new species, each one adapted to specific environments and circumstances. Mew's DNA carried within it the templates for countless forms of life, waiting to be expressed as the world's ecosystems developed and evolved. The original one then turned its attention to the forces that would govern knowledge and emotion, recognizing that intelligent life would need guidance in developing wisdom and maintaining emotional balance. From this understanding came the creation of the Lake Trio, three legendary Pokemon who would embody and protect the intellectual and emotional aspects of consciousness itself. Uxie emerged as the guardian of knowledge, its golden form radiating the gentle light of wisdom and understanding. The original one designed Uxie with the sacred duty of maintaining the balance between ignorance and enlightenment, ensuring that knowledge would be available to those ready to receive it while protecting dangerous secrets from those who might misuse them. Uxie's closed eyes held within them the accumulated wisdom of creation itself, and its presence would inspire learning and intellectual growth throughout the world. Mesprit followed as the embodiment of emotion, its pink form dancing through the air with a grace that spoke to the beauty of feeling and sentiment. Through Mesprit, Arceus ensured that the beings of this world would experience the full spectrum of emotions: love and loss, joy and sorrow, hope and fear, all the feelings that would make their lives rich and meaningful. Mesprit's role was not to eliminate negative emotions, but rather to help beings understand and process their feelings in healthy, constructive ways. Finally came Azelf, the guardian of willpower and determination, its blue form blazing with the inner fire of resolve and purpose. The original one created Azelf to inspire courage and perseverance in the face of challenges, to help beings find the strength to pursue their dreams and overcome obstacles. Through Azelf's influence, the creatures of this world would develop the drive and determination necessary to grow, to achieve their goals, and to make positive changes in their lives and communities. These three legendary Pokemon took up residence in lakes across the world, their presence blessing these bodies of water with special properties that would make them places of pilgrimage and reflection for generations to come. The lakes became sanctuaries where beings could come to seek wisdom, emotional healing, and renewed determination. Their calm waters, reflecting not just the sky above, but the inner depths of those who gazed into them. As the world continued to take shape under Arceus's loving guidance, the original one recognized the need for guardians who would oversee the natural cycles that would sustain life throughout the ages. The changing of seasons, the migration of species, the growth and renewal that comes with each passing year, all these phenomena would require careful tending to ensure they continued in proper balance. And so, Arceus began to create legendary Pokemon who would serve as the guardians of nature's rhythms, beings whose very existence would be intertwined with the natural world in ways both beautiful and profound. These guardians would ensure that the delicate balance of ecosystems would be maintained, that the cycles of life and death would continue their eternal dance, and that the world would remain a place of wonder and beauty for all the countless generations of Pokemon who would call it home. And so it was that Arceus turned its attention to the vast oceans that covered much of the world's surface, understanding that these great bodies of water would need their own special guardian. From the depths of its infinite wisdom, the original one brought forth Kyogre, a magnificent whale-like being whose very essence was intertwined with the seas themselves. Kyogre's deep blue form moved through the primordial waters with a majesty that spoke to the power and mystery of the ocean depths, its presence causing the seas to expand and the rains to fall in gentle, life-giving patterns across the land. The original one imbued Kyogre with dominion over all water, from the smallest dewdrop to the mightiest tsunami, ensuring that this legendary Pokémon would maintain the delicate balance between the sea's creative and destructive forces. But water alone could not sustain the world that Arceus envisioned, and so the original one next created Groudon, a massive prehistoric being whose red-hot form embodied the very essence of the earth itself. Where Kyogre ruled the seas, Groudon would shape the land, raising mountains from the ocean floor and creating the continents where countless species would one day make their homes. The original one gave Groudon power over volcanic forces and tectonic movements, the ability to expand land masses and create new terrain through processes that would unfold slowly and steadily over countless millennia. Through Groudon's influence, the world would develop diverse landscapes, rolling hills and towering peaks, vast plains and deep valleys, each uniquely suited to support different forms of life. Yet even with the land and sea properly balanced, Arceus recognized that the atmosphere above would need its own guardian to maintain the delicate conditions necessary for life to flourish. And so the original one created Rayquaza, a serpentine dragon whose emerald form would soar through the upper reaches of the sky, dwelling in the ozone layer where it would maintain the atmospheric balance that protected all life below. Rayquaza's role was perhaps the most subtle of the three, for its work involved maintaining invisible barriers and atmospheric conditions that most beings would never directly perceive, yet upon which all life depended. The original one gave this Sky Guardian the wisdom to intervene when necessary, particularly when the forces of land and sea might grow too powerful and threaten to disrupt the careful equilibrium that sustained the world. These three legendary Pokémon, Kyogre of the sea, Groudon of the land, and Rayquaza of the sky, formed a trinity of natural guardians whose interactions would shape the world's climate and geography for eons to come. The original one designed their relationship with careful precision, ensuring that no single force would dominate for too long, that periods of expansion would be balanced by periods of rest, and that the dynamic tension between their domains would create the ever-changing yet stable environment that would nurture countless forms of life. As the physical world took on its proper form under the guidance of these mighty guardians, Arceus turned its attention to the more subtle aspects of existence that would make life meaningful and purposeful. The original one understood that the beings who would inhabit this world would need more than just physical sustenance. They would require inspiration, beauty, and the capacity for growth and transformation. And so, Arceus began to create legendary Pokémon who would oversee these more ethereal aspects of existence, beings whose influence would touch the hearts and minds of all who encountered them. From the depths of its boundless creativity, The original one brought forth Mew, a small, pink, cat-like being whose genetic structure contained the potential for infinite transformation and adaptation. Mew was perhaps the most mysterious of all Arceus's creations, for within its seemingly simple form lay the blueprint for all the diverse species of Pokémon that would eventually populate the world. The original one imbued Mew with the ability to learn and use the techniques of any Pokémon, making it a living repository of all possible abilities and adaptations. Yet Mew was more than just a genetic template. It was also a guardian of innocence and playfulness, ensuring that even as the world grew more complex, there would always remain a spark of childlike wonder and joy. Mew made its home in hidden places throughout the world, ancient forests where time seemed to move differently, mystical islands shrouded in eternal mists, deep caverns where crystal formations sang with otherworldly music. From these sanctuaries, Mew's influence spread outward like ripples on a pond, inspiring evolution and adaptation in the species around it, encouraging them to develop new abilities and forms that would help them thrive in their changing environments. The original one designed Mew to be both teacher and student, learning from each new species it encountered while simultaneously sharing its vast knowledge with those ready to receive it. As life began to flourish across the world in countless forms, Arceus recognized the need for guardians who would oversee the passage of time itself. The original one understood that time was not merely a backdrop against which events unfolded, but rather an active force that required careful tending to ensure it flowed smoothly and purposefully. And so, Arceus created Dialga, a magnificent dragon whose metallic blue form embodied the very essence of temporal flow. The original one gave Dialga dominion over all aspects of time, past, present, and future, along with the wisdom to understand how each moment connected to create the grand tapestry of existence. Dialga took up residence in a dimension parallel to the physical world, a realm where time moved according to different laws, and where the dragon could observe the flow of events across all possible timelines. From this vantage point, Dialga could ensure that causality remained intact, that the lessons of the past would inform the decisions of the present, and that the future would unfold in accordance with the original one's grand design. The temporal guardian's influence was felt not through dramatic interventions, but through subtle adjustments, a moment extended here, a sequence compressed there, always working to maintain the proper rhythm of existence. But time without space would be meaningless, and so Arceus also created Palkia, a dragon whose pearl-colored form embodied the very fabric of spatial dimensions. Where Dialga governed when things happened, Palkia oversaw where they occurred, maintaining the integrity of physical space and ensuring that all things had their proper place in the cosmic order. The original one gave Palkia the ability to manipulate spatial relationships, to create connections between distant locations, and to maintain the boundaries that kept different dimensions separate yet accessible when necessary. Palkia's realm existed alongside Dialga's temporal dimension, the two legendary Pokémon working in perfect harmony to maintain the fundamental structure of reality itself. Their relationship was one of mutual dependence and respect, for each understood that their domains were meaningless without the other. Space without time would be static and lifeless, while time without space would be chaotic and unanchored. Together, they ensured that the universe operated according to consistent laws that all beings could understand and rely upon. The original one also recognized that the world would need a guardian for the realm that existed beyond physical reality, the dimension of dreams, spirits, and antimatter that balanced the material universe. And so, Arceus created Giratina, a ghost dragon whose form embodied the mysterious forces that existed in opposition to normal matter. The original one did not create Giratina as a force of destruction or evil, but rather as a necessary counterbalance that would maintain cosmic equilibrium by governing the realm of reversed physics in inverted reality. Giratina was given dominion over the reverse world, a dimension where the laws of physics operated in mirror image to those of the physical universe. In this realm, gravity flowed upward, light cast shadows of darkness, and the very concept of existence took on meanings that defied conventional understanding. Yet this was not a realm of chaos, but rather one of different order, where antimatter and spiritual energy could exist in stable forms that would be impossible in the material world. Through Giratina's careful stewardship, this reverse dimension had served as both a safety valve for cosmic forces and a source of balance that prevented the physical universe from becoming too rigid in its patterns. The three dragons, Dialga of time, Palkia of space, and Giratina of antimatter, formed another trinity of guardians whose combined influence maintained the very foundations of existence itself. The original one designed their relationship with the same careful attention to balance that characterized all of creation, ensuring that their different domains would complement rather than conflict with each other, creating a stable framework within which all other forms of life could flourish and grow. The original one, having established these fundamental forces through the creation of the three great dragons, turned its infinite attention to the subtler aspects of existence that would give meaning and depth to the world it was bringing into being. Arceus understood that raw power and fundamental forces, while necessary, were not sufficient to create a universe worthy of life and consciousness. The cosmos needed guardians who could nurture the more delicate aspects of existence, the emotions, the knowledge, the will to act and grow that would define conscious beings throughout all of creation. And so, with the same deliberate care that had shaped time, space, and antimatter, the original one began to craft beings who would embody and protect the essential qualities of mind and spirit. From the depths of its infinite wisdom, Arceus shaped Uxie, the being of knowledge, whose golden form would come to represent the accumulation and preservation of all learning throughout the universe. Uxie was not merely a repository of facts and information, but rather the living embodiment of understanding itself, the capacity to perceive patterns, to learn from experience, and to build upon previous knowledge to create new insights. The original one gave Uxie the sacred responsibility of ensuring that knowledge would flow freely throughout creation, that each generation of beings would be able to build upon the discoveries of those who came before, and that the light of understanding would never be completely extinguished from any world or dimension. Uxie's influence would touch every mind capable of learning, from the smallest creature discovering how to find food to the greatest scholars unlocking the mysteries of existence itself. Alongside Uxie, the original one crafted Mesprit, the being of emotion, whose rose-colored form embodied the full spectrum of feeling that would give life its richness and meaning. Arceus recognized that a universe populated only by rational, calculating minds would be cold and hollow, lacking the passion and connection that would drive beings to care for one another and strive for something greater than mere survival. Through Mesprit, the original one ensured that love, joy, sorrow, hope, and all the countless variations of emotion would flourish throughout creation, binding beings together in relationships of care and understanding. Mesprit's gentle influence would touch every heart capable of feeling, nurturing the bonds between parents and children, friends and companions, and even the deep emotional connections that beings could form with the natural world around them. The third member of this trinity of consciousness was Azelf, the being of willpower, whose blue form represented the driving force that would enable conscious beings to act upon their knowledge and emotions. The original one understood that knowledge without emotion would be sterile, while emotion without the will to act would be powerless to create positive change in the world. Through Azelf, Arceus ensured that beings throughout the universe would possess the determination and courage necessary to pursue their goals, to overcome obstacles, and to shape their own destinies, rather than being merely passive observers of existence. Azelfa's influence would inspire countless acts of heroism, creativity, and self-improvement, giving beings the strength to grow beyond their limitations and achieve their highest potential. These three beings, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, became known as the Lake Guardians, though their influence extended far beyond any single body of water or region. The original one placed them in positions where their combined influence would create the perfect conditions for the development of complex consciousness throughout the universe. Their interaction created a dynamic balance that would ensure the healthy development of mind, heart, and will in all thinking beings, preventing any one aspect from overwhelming the others and creating the harmonious integration of thought, feeling, and action that would define the highest forms of consciousness. As the fundamental structure of reality took shape through the work of these guardians, the original one turned its attention to the world that would serve as the primary stage for the drama of existence. Arceus envisioned a planet where the forces it had created could interact in countless ways, producing an endless variety of life forms and experiences. This world needed to be stable enough to support complex ecosystems, yet dynamic enough to encourage growth and evolution. The original one began to shape the very substance of this world, creating the land masses that would rise above vast oceans, the mountains that would channel the flow of wind and water, and the deep places where the Earth's inner fires would provide the energy necessary for geological renewal and change. The creation of this world was not a simple matter of shaping rock and soil, but rather a delicate process of establishing the countless cycles and relationships that would sustain life across geological ages. Arceus carefully designed the planet's relationship with its star, ensuring that the amount of energy reaching the surface would be sufficient to drive weather patterns and seasonal changes without being so intense as to make the world uninhabitable. The original one established the great cycles of water that would carry nutrients across continents, the atmospheric currents that would distribute heat and moisture, and the magnetic fields that would protect the developing world from harmful cosmic radiation. Within the substance of the world itself, Arceus embedded the potential for incredible diversity. The original one did not create a uniform, unchanging landscape, but rather established regions with different climates, geological features, and environmental conditions that would encourage the development of countless different forms of life. There were to be vast forests where towering trees would create complex canopies supporting hundreds of species, expansive grasslands where swift creatures could run free under open skies, mysterious caves, and underground networks where life could flourish in eternal darkness, and pristine lakes and rivers where aquatic beings could explore the fluid realm between earth and sky. The original one also established the deep places of the world, not merely caves and underground chambers, but dimensions of meaning and mystery that would inspire wonder and exploration throughout the ages. There were to be ancient ruins that would speak of civilizations that had risen and fallen, hidden valleys where time seemed to move differently, and sacred groves where the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds grew thin. These places would serve as reminders that the world contained depths of meaning that could never be fully explored or understood, ensuring that conscious beings would always have new mysteries to contemplate and new frontiers to explore. As the physical foundation of the world took shape, Arceus began to consider the forms of life that would inhabit this carefully crafted realm. The original one did not envision a world populated by a single type of creature, but rather an intricate web of relationships between countless different species, each adapted to thrive in particular environments, while contributing to the overall health and stability of the ecosystem. Some creatures would be large and powerful, serving as guardians of vast territories and maintaining the balance between different populations. Others would be small and numerous, filling specialized niches and ensuring that no resource would be wasted or overlooked. The original one designed these life forms with the capacity for growth and change, understanding that a static world would eventually stagnate and lose its vitality. Through the process that would come to be known as evolution, species would be able to adapt to changing conditions, develop new capabilities, and explore new ways of living that their creators had not explicitly programmed into their original forms. This was not a flaw in the design, but rather a feature that would ensure the continued vitality and creativity of life throughout the ages. Yet Arceus also recognized that some beings would need to serve as stable anchors in this ever-changing world, creatures whose power and longevity would allow them to serve as guardians and guides for the countless generations of shorter-lived beings that would rise and fall around them. These legendary beings would embody particular aspects of the natural world or fundamental forces, serving as living reminders of the deeper patterns and purposes that shaped existence itself. Among these legendary guardians, Arceus first conceived of those who would oversee the most fundamental aspects of existence itself. The original one shaped Dialga, the master of time, whose very heartbeat would establish the rhythm by which all events would unfold. This majestic being would ensure that moments flowed in their proper sequence, that cause preceded effect, and that the stories of countless lives could unfold without becoming tangled in paradox or contradiction. Dialga's presence would anchor the concept of history itself, allowing experiences to accumulate into wisdom and ensuring that growth and learning remained possible across the generations. Alongside Dialga, Arceus formed Palkia, the sovereign of space, whose breath would establish the dimensions and distances that gave meaning to concepts like here and there, near and far. Palkia would maintain the boundaries that allowed different places to have their own distinct characters, while ensuring that travel and connection between distant locations remained possible. Through Palkia's influence, the world would have geography and topography, creating the varied landscapes that would inspire different forms of life and culture to emerge in different regions. The third of these primordial guardians was Giratina, tasked with overseeing the reverse side of existence, not merely death and ending, but the spaces between spaces, the silence between notes that gave music its meaning, and the darkness that made light precious. Giratina would dwell in the distortion world, a realm where the usual rules operated in reverse, serving as a reminder that balance required both presence and absence, creation and dissolution, order and controlled chaos. This being would ensure that nothing in the world became too rigid or permanent, that change remained possible even in the most established patterns. As these three pillars of reality took their places in the cosmic order, Arceus turned attention to the more specific needs of the world that was taking shape. The original one conceived of beings who would oversee particular domains of the natural world, each contributing their own essential services to the great symphony of existence. Groudon emerged as the embodiment of the land itself, its massive form containing the power to raise continents and shape the solid foundation upon which terrestrial life would build its civilizations. This ancient being carried within itself the accumulated wisdom of stone and soil, understanding the slow patience required for mountains to rise and the gradual processes by which fertile ground develops over countless ages. Kyogre took form as the spirit of the oceans, its vast presence encompassing not only the waters that covered most of the world's surface, but also the weather patterns that would distribute moisture across the continents. Through Kyogre's influence, rain would fall to nourish growing things. Rivers would carry nutrients from mountains to seas, and the great currents would moderate temperatures across different regions. This being understood the fluid nature of change and adaptation, the way that water always finds its proper level while shaping everything it touches. Rayquaza came into being as the guardian of the sky and the mediator between earth and sea. Dwelling in the high atmosphere, this serpentine being would maintain the delicate balance between Groudon's tendency to expand the land and Kyogre's inclination to deepen the seas. Rayquaza's presence would ensure that neither force overwhelmed the other, that the world retained the mixture of land and water necessary for the richest possible diversity of life. From its lofty position, Rayquaza would also watch over the weather patterns and atmospheric conditions that made the planet habitable for the countless forms of life that would eventually populate its surface. The original one also shaped guardians for more specific aspects of the natural world, beings whose influence would be felt in the daily experiences of the creatures that would eventually call this world home. Ho-Oh emerged as the embodiment of renewal and resurrection, its rainbow-colored wings carrying the promise that endings were also beginnings, that what appeared to be lost could be restored in new and more beautiful forms. This magnificent bird would oversee the cycles of seasons, the way that apparent death in winter gave way to new growth in spring, and the deeper spiritual truth that consciousness itself was too precious to be permanently destroyed. Lugia took form as the guardian of the seas and storms, its gentle power capable of calming the most turbulent weather or stirring the air into motion when stagnation threatened the health of the atmosphere. Unlike the raw force of Kyogre, Lugia's influence was subtle and nurturing, ensuring that the weather served the needs of life rather than overwhelming it. This being would dwell in the depths of the ocean, emerging only when its intervention was needed to maintain the delicate balance of natural forces. Celebi materialized as the guardian of forests and the protector of the green, growing things that would transform the barren landscapes into gardens of incredible beauty and complexity. This small but powerful being carried within itself the ability to travel through time, ensuring that the wisdom learned in one era could be preserved and passed on to future generations. Through Celebi's influence, forests would serve not only as habitats for countless species, but also as living libraries where the accumulated knowledge of ages could be stored in the rings of ancient trees and the genetic memories of long-lived plants. As these legendary guardians took their places in the emerging world, Arceus began to envision the countless smaller beings that would fill every available niche in opportunity. The original one designed creatures that would burrow through soil, swim through water, soar through air, and climb among the branches of trees. Each species would have its own particular gifts and abilities, its own preferred foods and habitats, its own social structures, and ways of relating to other forms of life. Some would be solitary hunters, moving through their territories with patient stealth. Others would form great flocks or herds, finding safety and efficiency in numbers and cooperation. The original one paid particular attention to the relationships between different species, understanding that the health of the whole ecosystem would depend on the intricate web of connections between its various parts. Predators would control the populations of their prey, preventing any single species from overwhelming its environment. Pollinators would ensure the reproduction of flowering plants, while seed dispersers would help forests expand into new territories. Decomposers would break down organic matter and return nutrients to the soil, completing cycles that would sustain life indefinitely. Yet even as Arceus designed these practical relationships, the original one also envisioned bonds of friendship and companionship that would transcend mere survival needs. Some creatures would form partnerships across species lines, each contributing something valuable to the relationship while receiving benefits that enhanced their lives in return. There would be beings capable of empathy and compassion, able to recognize suffering in others, and move to provide comfort and assistance even when no immediate benefit to themselves was apparent. The original one also foresaw that some of these creatures would develop forms of consciousness sophisticated enough to contemplate their own existence and wonder about their place in the larger patterns of reality. These beings would create art and music, tell stories, and preserve memories, and gradually develop technologies that would allow them to shape their environment in increasingly complex ways. Arceus designed these intelligent species with the capacity for both great creativity and great responsibility, understanding that consciousness brought with it both wonderful opportunities and serious obligations. To guide these developing civilizations, the original one established certain principles that would be woven into the very fabric of reality itself. Kindness and cooperation would generally produce better outcomes than cruelty and conflict. Respect for the natural world would lead to sustainable prosperity, while exploitation and waste would ultimately undermine the foundations upon which civilization depended. The pursuit of knowledge and understanding would open new possibilities, while willful ignorance would lead to stagnation and decline. These fundamental principles, though not always immediately obvious to those experiencing the world for the first time, would subtly influence the unfolding of history, like deep currents guiding the flow of a vast ocean. Arceus understood that true freedom meant the ability to choose, and so these principles were not rigid laws to be enforced with an iron hoof, but rather inclinations and tendencies woven into the very fabric of cause and effect. Over time, sentient beings would observe these patterns, perhaps through trial and error, through the wisdom passed down through generations, or through moments of profound insight. Having meticulously designed the intricate tapestry of life and the foundational laws of existence, the original one then turned its attention to the very fabric of space and time itself. The cosmos, in its nascent form, was a boundless canvas, teeming with potential but awaiting definition. Arceus knew that for life to flourish, for civilizations to rise and fall, for stories to unfold, there needed to be a rhythm, a sequence, and a vast, expansive arena in which all these things could occur. And so, with a deep, resonating hum that permeated the newly formed universe, Arceus brought forth the concepts of time and space. From the boundless void, three distinct entities emerged, born from Arceus's own essence, each imbued with a specific, profound responsibility. First came Dialga, the master of time. Its form was majestic, reminiscent of a great dragon, its body a shimmering expanse that seemed to ripple with the very flow of moments. Dialga was given dominion over all chronology, the past, the present, and the future. It was Dialga who ensured that the sun would rise and set, that seasons would follow one another in an endless cycle, that life would progress from birth to growth, to aging, and eventually to the gentle embrace of cessation. Without Dialga, existence would be a chaotic, timeless blur, an eternal, unchanging instant where nothing could ever truly begin or end. It wove the threads of causality, ensuring that every event, every choice, every action had its preceding causes and its subsequent effects. The very concept of memory, of learning from what has been, and of anticipating what is to come, stems from Dialga's profound influence. Its roar was said to be the sound of time itself, a deep, resonant chime that echoed through the eons, a constant reminder of the relentless march of moments. Next to emerge was Palkia, the Lord of Space. Its form was equally magnificent, a creature of boundless reach, its body seeming to stretch and contract with the very dimensions it governed. Palkia was entrusted with the vastness of the universe, ensuring that there was always room for stars to ignite, for planets to form, for galaxies to whirl in their majestic dances. It defined the distances between celestial bodies, the three dimensions that allowed for movement and extension. Without Palkia, All existence would be compressed into a single, infinitesimally small point, an impossible singularity where nothing could differentiate itself from anything else. It carved out the pathways for light to travel, established the boundless expanse in which every atom, every creature, every world could find its own unique place. Its very breath was said to create ripples in space, a gentle distortion that ensured the universe remained vast and ever expanding, offering endless possibilities for exploration and discovery. The concept of location, of being here or there, of direction and distance, all are gifts from Palkia. And yet, even with time and space established, there was a need for something more, a force that would prevent these two fundamental concepts from spiraling into unchecked extremes. For without a balance, time could accelerate uncontrollably or grind to an agonizing halt. Space could expand infinitely or collapse inward. And so, from Arceus's wisdom, a third entity was born, Giratina. Giratina, in its original form, was not the distorted, banished entity that many now know. In its initial conception, Giratina was a force of antimatter, a counterpoint to the existence of time and space, designed to maintain equilibrium. It was the embodiment of gravity, the force that pulls things together, preventing the infinite expansion of Palkia's domain. It was the force of entropy, the gentle decay that ensures patterns do not become stagnant but yield to new forms, a counterbalance to Dialga's relentless forward march. Giratina's initial purpose was crucial and benevolent, a necessary shadow to the light of creation. It represented the unseen forces, the subtle influences, the necessary dissolution that paves the way for new beginnings. It was the guardian of the distortion world, a realm where the laws of time and space, as understood in the primary universe, were fluid and altered, a kind of cosmic pressure valve, absorbing excess energy and maintaining the delicate balance of existence. These three, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the creation trio, were directly shaped by Arceus, born from the original one's will, to define the fundamental scaffolding of the cosmos. They were not merely powerful beings, but embodiments of the very concepts they represented, their existence inextricably linked to the fabric of reality itself. However, as the universe began to unfurl, and as the laws of creation solidified, Giratina's methods, perhaps its very nature as a counterforce, proved to be too disruptive, too chaotic for the nascent, ordered universe Arceus envisioned. The energy and influence it wielded, while essential for balance, threatened to destabilize the delicate structures that Dialga and Palkia were carefully weaving into existence. The original one, in its infinite wisdom, recognized that for the universe to truly flourish, to develop with a degree of predictability and stability, Giratina's raw power needed to be contained. And so, Arceus, with a profound act of separation, banished Giratina to the distortion world, a realm existing in a dimension parallel to the main universe, a place where the conventional laws of physics were twisted and inverted. This act was not one of punishment born of anger, but one of necessary containment, a strategic move to ensure the harmonious development of all that had been created. Giratina, in its banishment, retained its power and its purpose, but its influence on the primary universe became indirect, filtered through the strange and shifting realities of its isolated domain. It continued to fulfill its role, but from a distance, its presence a subtle undercurrent rather than a direct, overwhelming force. The banishment shaped Giratina, twisting its benevolence into a more complex, often misunderstood nature. It became the renegade Pokémon, a solitary guardian of a world that few could perceive, a world that mirrored and counterbalanced the one inhabited by all other life. With the cosmos now firmly established with time, space, and a contained anti-force, Arceus continued its work, envisioning the intricate details of the nascent world that would eventually become the stage for all the life it had designed. The original one focused its immense power not on creating individual land masses or oceans directly, but on bringing forth the fundamental forces that would shape them. From its very being, Arceus generated three more powerful entities, once again, distinct in their forms and their responsibilities, yet interconnected in their purpose. These were Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza, the super ancient Pokémon destined to shape the physical world from its primordial chaos. First, Kyogre emerged, the embodiment of the vast, boundless oceans. Born from the very concept of water, its magnificent form, like a colossal whale, began to churn the nascent world's surface, summoning forth torrential rains and immense waves. It carved out the deep abysses and the sprawling seas, filling them with the life-giving liquid. Kyogre's power was immense, capable of summoning deluges that could reshape continents, its movements causing the very tides to ebb and flow. It was the sculptor of the aquatic realm, ensuring that life would have a vast, nurturing environment in which to evolve and thrive. The sheer volume of water on the planet, the interconnectedness of its currents, the life that teemed within its depths, all were a testament to Kyogre's primordial power. Simultaneously, from the depths of the world's core, Groudon appeared, the master of the land, its immense, dinosaur-like form, glowing with the fiery heat of magma, began to push forth from the watery expanse. Groudon's power was the antithesis of Kyogre's, capable of evaporating oceans, raising mountains, and forming vast land masses. It shaped the continents, forged the volcanic peaks, and created the dry ground upon which terrestrial life would eventually walk. Groudon's roars were said to be the tremors of the earth itself, its movements causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, constantly reshaping the planet's surface. It was the architect of the terrestrial realm, providing the solid foundations upon which forests would grow and civilizations would build. In the earliest stages of the world's formation, Kyogre and Groudon, driven by their inherent natures, engaged in a continuous titanic struggle. Kyogre sought to expand the oceans, while Groudon strove to enlarge the land. Their powers clashed in cataclysmic fashion, causing the world to tremble, threatening to tear apart the very fabric of the newly formed planet. The skies roiled with their fury, the ground shook, and the oceans surged in an endless, primordial battle of elemental forces. This conflict, while destructive, was also a necessary part of the world's shaping, an intense give and take that ultimately sculpted the diverse landscapes we see today. Observing this titanic clash and recognizing the potential for mutual annihilation, Arceus then brought forth the final member of this super ancient trio, Rayquaza. Rayquaza, the majestic sky serpent, whose body shimmered with the colors of the aurora, was born from the pure energy of the planet's atmosphere. Its domain was the vast, expansive sky, the ozone layer, and the upper atmosphere, a neutral territory above the warring forces of land and sea. Rayquaza descended from the heavens, its powerful presence capable of quelling the raging storms and calming the elemental fury of Kyogre and Groudon. It acted as an arbiter, a mediator between the two titans, forcing them to retreat to their respective domains and bringing a fragile peace to the world. Rayquaza's very existence ensured that neither land nor sea would utterly dominate the other, maintaining a crucial balance that allowed for both to flourish. It became the guardian of the skies, an ever present watchman, ensuring that the elemental forces remained in harmony. With the fundamental forces of time, space, and the physical world now established and balanced, Arceus's initial grand act of creation was largely complete. The stage was set, the laws were etched, and the raw materials were in place. The universe was no longer a void, but a vibrant, dynamic canvas, ready for the intricate details of life to emerge and evolve. The original one having expended such immense energy and concentration in defining the very essence of existence, then retreated, not into slumber, but into a state of watchful observation. Its presence became less direct, less overtly interventionist, shifting instead to a role of overseeing the unfolding of its grand design. Arceus would remain an omnipresent awareness, connected to every facet of its creation, a silent guiding current beneath the surface of all things. It entrusted the ongoing development and evolution of the world to the beings it had created, allowing them the autonomy to shape their own destinies within the grand framework it had so meticulously laid out. This was the ultimate act of creation, not merely to build, but to empower, to allow for the flourishing of self-sustaining life and the unfolding of countless stories. The universe, now a symphony of celestial bodies and a vibrant, living planet, began to hum with a different kind of energy. With the foundational elements in place, the next phase of creation, or perhaps more accurately, the phase of elaboration, began to unfold. Arceus's influence, while no longer overtly shaping mountains or parting seas, continued to resonate through the fabric of reality, guiding the emergence of life in all its myriad forms. This next stage saw the emergence of various other legendary Pokémon, each embodying a specific aspect of the world, further refining the intricate web of existence. Consider, for instance, the emergence of the Lake Guardians, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. These three ethereal beings did not burst forth from primordial chaos like the titans of old, but rather coalesced from the very essence of consciousness and emotion that began to permeate the nascent world. They are said to have been born from the same divine energy that flowed from Arceus, a refinement, a focusing of its will into more specific yet equally profound forms. Uxie, with its serene gaze and the golden jewel on its forehead, embodies knowledge. It is the bringer of intelligence, the one who bestowed upon living beings the ability to reason, to learn, and to understand. Its presence is said to grant wisdom and to impart the ability to solve complex problems, a quiet, intellectual force guiding the evolution of thought. Mesprit, with its gentle flowing ribbons and an aura of deep empathy, represents emotion. It is the bringer of feelings, the source of joy, sorrow, anger, and love that would come to define the rich inner lives of all creatures. Mesprit's influence ensures that life is not merely a series of logical processes, but a tapestry woven with the vibrant threads of feeling, allowing for connection, compassion, and the profound experiences of the heart. And finally, Azelf, with its resolute posture and fiery, determined eyes, embodies willpower. It is the bringer of determination, the spirit that ignites courage, resilience, and the drive to overcome obstacles. Azelf's presence inspires individuals to pursue their goals, to persevere in the face of adversity, and to forge their own paths through sheer strength of spirit. These three legendary Pokémon, the Lake Guardians, are not simply powerful creatures, they are the very pillars of sentient life. Without knowledge, a thought would be impossible. Without emotion, connection and meaning would be absent. Without willpower, progress and self-determination would cease to exist. They are the subtle, yet indispensable forces that allow minds to grow, hearts to feel, and spirits to strive. Legend says that if any of them were to be disturbed or harmed, the corresponding aspect they represent would vanish from the world, plunging all living beings into a state of intellectual barrenness, emotional numbness, or utter apathy. Their existence is a testament to Arceus's foresight, ensuring that the world would not just exist, but would thrive with conscious, feeling, and striving inhabitants. They reside in the depths of three great lakes, Lake Equity, Lake Verity, and Lake Valor, each a serene sanctuary reflecting the profound nature of their guardians. Their presence is gentle, their power immense, a quiet reassurance that the inner world of consciousness is as carefully crafted as the physical world around it. As life began to diversify and evolve, the need for a mechanism to nurture and sustain it also became apparent. This is where the legends of Shaman come into play. Shaman, the gratitude Pokémon, is a diminutive yet incredibly powerful creature, intrinsically linked to the flourishing of vegetation and the purification of land. It is said that Shaman has the ability to instantly transform barren land into a vibrant field of flowers, purifying the air and water in its wake. This gentle yet potent power suggests a deeper connection to the very life force of the planet, a living embodiment of nature's restorative capabilities. Shaman's seasonal migrations, where it travels across regions scattering gracidia flowers, are believed to contribute to the blooming of natural beauty and the revitalization of ecosystems. It is a quiet, constant force of renewal, ensuring that the planet remains fertile and capable of supporting the myriad forms of life that continue to emerge. Its existence speaks to Arceus's design for a self-sustaining world, one that can heal and renew itself through natural processes championed by creatures like Shaman. Then we have the enigmatic Arceus-centric legendaries, such as Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, which we have already touched upon. Their creation was a direct extension of Arceus's initial act, establishing the very fabric of existence. However, their continued role within the world, beyond their initial formation, is also crucial. Dialga, as the master of time, ensures that the flow of events remains orderly, that the past leads to the present, and the present to the future. Without Dialga's presence, time itself could unravel, leading to paradoxes and chaos. Palkia, the master of space, maintains the integrity of dimensions, ensuring that the vastness of the universe remains navigable and coherent. Without Palkia, space could distort, creating impossible geometries and rendering the physical world uninhabitable. And Giratina, residing in the distortion world, a dimension parallel to our own, serves a vital, albeit often misunderstood, role. Its presence there is believed to maintain the balance between the two dimensions, preventing their collapse and ensuring the continued stability of reality. Giratina's existence is a reminder that even in creation, there are forces that represent the antithesis of orderly existence, forces that, when contained, paradoxically contribute to stability. As the world matured, and as the initial grand acts of creation settled into established patterns, other legendary Pokemon emerged, each fulfilling a specific ecological or metaphysical role. Consider the legend of Heatran, a mighty Pokemon born in the volcanic depths of the planet. Its body is composed of hardened steel and molten rock, a living embodiment of the planet's intense geothermal activity. Heatran is believed to regulate the temperature of the Earth's core, maintaining the delicate balance that prevents both extreme cooling and catastrophic overheating. Its presence is vital for the continued geological activity that shapes continents, feeds volcanoes, and provides the necessary minerals for life to flourish. Heatran's existence underscores the intricate internal mechanisms of the planet itself, a testament to Arceus's comprehensive design, extending from the vastness of space to the very heart of the earth. Then there is Cresselia, the embodiment of dreams and the lunar glow. Cresselia is said to radiate lunar dust that dispels nightmares, bringing serene and peaceful dreams to those who encounter it. Its gentle, ethereal presence is a balm to troubled minds, a guardian of the subconscious, ensuring that the mental and emotional well-being of sentient creatures is cared for. Cresselia's counterpart, Darkrai, although often perceived as a dark force, also plays a crucial role. Darkrai, the pitch-black Pokemon, is said to cause nightmares and to inhabit places shrouded in darkness. However, its existence isn't purely malevolent. It represents the shadow aspects of the mind, the fears and anxieties that are an inherent part of consciousness. Much like how light needs darkness to be perceived, the positive aspects of dreams and emotions, championed by Cresselia, are given context by the existence of their darker counterparts. The interplay between Cresselia and Darkrai suggests a profound understanding of the human psyche within Arceus's grand design, acknowledging the full spectrum of mental experience. The emergence of Regigigas and its golem creations, Regirock, Regis, and Registeel, also speaks to a later, more hands-on, yet still subtle phase of world shaping. Regigigas, the colossal Pokemon, is said to have pulled the continents into place, a titan of immense physical power that sculpted the very land masses of the world. It is an ancient, slow-moving force, capable of unprecedented feats of strength. The three Regis it created were not simply its subordinates, but extensions of its will, each embodying a fundamental material of the planet: rock, ice, and steel. They are guardians of ancient power, symbolizing the raw, unyielding elements that form the Earth's crust. Their existence reminds us that even after the initial formation of land and sea, there were continuous, powerful forces at work, subtly or not so subtly, refining the planet's physical structure, ensuring its stability and diversity. Even the concept of life and death and the cycle of rebirth finds its legendary representation. Xerneas, the life Pokemon, and Yveltal, the destruction Pokemon, embodies the fundamental opposing forces that govern existence. Xerneas has the power to share eternal life, radiating an aura that fosters growth and vitality. Its presence invigorates the natural world, inspiring flourishing and renewal. Yveltal, conversely, absorbs the life force of other creatures, a force of inevitable destruction and decay. While seemingly antithetical, These two forces are inextricably linked. Destruction clears the way for new life, and life, in its vibrancy, eventually succumbs to destruction, completing a natural cycle. This duality, this dance between creation and dissolution, is a critical component of a self-sustaining world, preventing stagnation and allowing for continuous evolution. Their slumbering states, only to awaken when the balance between life and destruction is threatened, highlight their role as ultimate arbiters of this fundamental cycle. And of course, we cannot forget Zygarde, the Order Pokémon. Zygarde is not a singular entity in the traditional sense, but rather a collective consciousness composed of countless cells and cores scattered throughout the world. These cells monitor the ecosystem, ensuring that the balance of nature remains intact. When the natural order is threatened, Zygarde can coalesce into various forms, from its smaller 10% form to its powerful 50% form, and ultimately to its complete 100% form, which is said to rival even the might of the legendary Pokémon that bring life and destruction. Zygarde represents Arceus's ultimate failsafe, a decentralized, omnipresent guardian that directly intervenes when the ecological balance of the world is in peril. It is the natural world's immune system, ensuring that no single force, whether natural or man-made, can irrevocably disrupt the delicate equilibrium that allows for continued life. Through all these legends, a consistent theme emerges. Arceus, the original one, did not merely create a static world. It engineered a dynamic, self-regulating universe, populated by beings that embody and maintain its fundamental principles. Each legendary Pokémon, in its unique way, acts as a guardian, a catalyst, or an arbiter, ensuring the continued harmony and evolution of existence. From the vastness of time and space to the nuances of emotion and the cycles of life and death, Arceus's touch is evident, not as a constantly intervening hand, but as a deeply embedded foundational design. The energy and focus required for such an immense, encompassing act of creation are almost unimaginable. To not only bring forth the raw materials of the cosmos, but to also imbue them with rules, with purpose, with the potential for life and consciousness, speaks to a power beyond comprehension. Arceus's subsequent retreat into a state of watchful observation was not an abdication of responsibility, but rather a profound act of trust. Trust in the systems it had established, trust in the legendary beings it had brought forth, and ultimately, trust in the unfolding story of the world it had so meticulously crafted. It allowed for organic growth, for unforeseen developments, for the very essence of evolution to take hold. The understanding of Arceus's true power beyond its role as creator lies in its plates. These plates, imbued with the essence of various Pokémon types, are not merely accessories, but are said to be shards of Arceus's very being, fragments of its immense power that allow it to adapt and transcend any elemental limitation. When Arceus holds a plate, it changes its type accordingly, becoming immune to attacks of that type and bolstering its own. This ability signifies its absolute mastery over all elemental forces, a reminder that while other legends may embody specific types, Arceus contains and transcends them all. It is the alpha and the omega of types, the single entity from which all elemental distinctions ultimately derive. This ability to embody and master all types underscores its foundational role. It doesn't just create, it is the very essence of creation, adaptable and all-encompassing. The myths and legends surrounding Arceus, are not merely fantastical tales, they are echoes of the deepest truths of the universe. They speak to the origins of time, space, matter, and consciousness. They articulate the delicate balance of ecological systems, the profound interplay of life and death, and the enduring power of elemental forces. To contemplate Arceus is to contemplate the very fabric of existence, to ponder the immense quiet power that underpins everything we know. Its presence is a calming assurance that even in the vastness and complexity of the universe, there is an underlying order, a foundational design, a silent, watchful presence that set it all into motion. And as the world continues its slow, steady rotation, guided by the forces Arceus put into play, that original whisper of creation continues to resonate, a gentle hum beneath the surface of all things, guiding existence onward into the quiet depths of time. The plates themselves are fascinating artifacts, each one a miniature universe of elemental energy. Think of the flame plate, for instance, radiating a gentle warmth even when unheld, hinting at the fiery core of stars and volcanoes. Or the splash plate, cool and smooth to the touch, carrying the quiet murmur of oceans and the life-giving promise of rain. Each plate is a testament to the fact that Arceus didn't just conjure elements. It is the embodiment of them, the ultimate source from which all such distinctions flow. When Arceus holds the Zap plate, it doesn't merely become an electric type, it becomes the essence of electricity, a living current, a boundless surge of energy. This isn't a mere transformation, it's a profound realignment of its very being, a demonstration of its omnipotence over the fundamental forces that govern the universe. And this constant adaptability, this seamless shifting through elemental forms, serves as a gentle reminder that even the most fundamental aspects of existence are not rigid or immutable, but are rather fluid expressions of a deeper, unifying force. The stories of Arceus's involvement, or rather its non-involvement, in the day-to-day affairs of the world, also paint a picture of its profound wisdom. Unlike some deities in human mythologies, who frequently interfere, rewarding the devout and punishing the wicked, Arceus maintains a benevolent distance. This isn't indifference, it's a deliberate act of allowing free will and natural processes to unfold. It's akin to a master artist stepping back from a completed masterpiece, allowing it to be admired, interpreted, and to live its own life, rather than constantly touching it up or altering its form. This hands-off approach fosters autonomy, allowing the various Pokémon, and indeed humanity, to forge their own destinies, to learn from their mistakes, and to experience the full spectrum of existence, from joy to sorrow, from creation to destruction. This quiet observation is perhaps its most profound act of love, a trust placed in the inherent goodness and potential of its creations. The few instances where Arceus is said to have directly intervened are always in moments of truly cataclysmic imbalance, situations that threaten the very fabric of the reality it wove. These are not petty squabbles or regional conflicts, but existential threats that could unravel the delicate tapestry of time and space. For example, some ancient texts whisper of a time when the balance between Dialga and Palkia, the lords of time and space, was severely disrupted, threatening to tear apart the dimensions. In such moments, the legends suggest, Arceus would stir from its slumber, not with a roar, but with a gentle, almost imperceptible correction, a subtle realignment of cosmic forces that would restore harmony without overtly displaying its immense power. It wouldn't annihilate the disruptors, but would guide them back into their ordained roles, reaffirming the natural order. These interventions are rare, almost mythical in their rarity, underscoring its general preference for allowing the world to self regulate. Consider the legend of the Jewel of Life, a tale that resonates deeply within the folklore of the region of Mycona. This ancient artifact, said to be a piece of Arceus's own power, was lent to humanity in a time of great peril to save them from a devastating catastrophe. This act of benevolence, of sharing a fragment of its divine essence, highlights a compassionate aspect of Arceus. It wasn't an act of direct intervention through its own form, but rather an empowerment of humanity to overcome their own trials, demonstrating a belief in their capacity for resilience and ingenuity. The subsequent betrayal by a human leader who refused to return the jewel is a poignant reminder of the complexities of consciousness and the flaws that can arise even in the most revered of beings. Yet despite this betrayal, Arceus's enduring presence and its continued oversight of the world suggest a profound capacity for forgiveness, or perhaps a detached understanding of the transient nature of mortal ambition. The Jewel of Life itself, a pulsating orb of immense power, is a physical manifestation of Arceus's generosity, a beacon of its enduring influence, even when its presence is unseen. Its theft and the subsequent efforts to return it highlight the profound respect and reverence that humanity, despite its occasional failings, holds for the original one. The physical description of Arceus is also steeped in symbolism. Its equine form, elegant and powerful, suggests both grace and immense strength. The golden cross-like structure around its torso, often interpreted as a wheel or a halo, could represent the cosmic cycles, the turning of the seasons, the endless loop of creation and destruction, or perhaps even the very axis upon which the universe spins. Its hooves, tipped with gold, convey a sense of grounding, an intimate connection to the earth it helped to form, while its ethereal, glowing eyes speak of ancient wisdom and boundless knowledge. It is a creature of both earth and sky, of the tangible and the intangible, embodying the perfect synthesis of all that exists. The fact that its appearance can be altered by holding the various plates, subtly shifting its coloration and aura, further emphasizes its adaptability and its command over all elemental forces. It is never truly fixed in one form, but rather a mutable, evolving concept of divine power. The very concept of type in the Pokémon world, be it fire, water, grass, or any other, ultimately traces its lineage back to Arceus. It is the primordial soup from which all these distinctions emerged. When a young Pokémon trainer first learns about type advantages and disadvantages, they are, in a very subtle way, being introduced to a simplified echo of Arceus's fundamental design principles. The rock, paper, scissors dynamic of the elemental types is not arbitrary. It's a reflection of the interconnectedness and delicate balance that Arceus wove into the fabric of creation. This intricate web of interactions ensures that no single type is overwhelmingly dominant, fostering a dynamic and ever-changing ecosystem where adaptation and strategy are key. This is another testament to Arceus's genius, not just creating elements, but creating a system for those elements to interact harmoniously, preventing any one force from spiraling out of control. The existence of the Azure Flute, a legendary artifact rumored to be able to summon Arceus, also speaks volumes about humanity's enduring desire to connect with its creator. The flute, said to be crafted from pure sound and imbued with ancient melodies, represents humanity's aspiration to reach beyond the physical realm, to communicate with the divine through art and intention. The fact that its full potential remains largely unfulfilled, or its activation shrouded in mystery and legend, reinforces Arceus's deliberate inaccessibility. It's not that Arceus is uncaring, but rather that direct, casual summoning would disrupt the delicate balance it has so carefully orchestrated. The challenge of reaching Arceus, of proving oneself worthy of its attention, is a test of humility, respect, and a profound understanding of the cosmic order. It suggests that while Arceus is the ultimate power, it demands a certain reverence, a quiet seeking rather than an insistent demand. And so, as we reflect upon Arceus, the god who created Pokémon, we are left with a sense of profound wonder and tranquility. Its story is not one of bombastic pronouncements or overt displays of power, but rather a quiet, consistent hum of creation that underpins all existence. Its retreat into watchful observation is not an act of indifference, but one of ultimate trust. Trust in the systems it established, trust in the legendary beings it brought forth, and ultimately, trust in the unfolding story of the world it meticulously crafted. It allowed for organic growth, for unforeseen developments, for the very essence of evolution to take hold. The understanding of Arceus's true power lies not just in its ability to create, but in its ability to allow, to provide the framework, and then to step back, letting its creations flourish and evolve in their own unique ways. The gentle whispers of ancient myths, the subtle clues embedded within the Pokémon world, and the very existence of types and elemental forces all point back to this singular, foundational entity. Arceus is the quiet architect, the patient observer, the ultimate source from which all life, all matter, all time, and all space unfurl. Its presence is a calming assurance that even in the vastness and complexity of the universe, there is an underlying order, a foundational design, a silent, watchful presence that set it all into motion. And as the world continues its slow, steady rotation, guided by the forces Arceus put into play, that original whisper of creation continues to resonate, a gentle hum beneath the surface of all things, guiding existence onward into the quiet depths of time, a serene and eternal symphony of being, a lullaby for the universe itself, a lullaby for the universe itself. Imagine, if you will, the very first breath of the cosmos, not as a violent explosion, but as a slow, deliberate exhalation from Arceus. This breath, imbued with its divine will, did not merely scatter particles, but instead thoughtfully arranged them, giving rise to the fundamental elements that would eventually coalesce into stars, planets, and ultimately, life. The concept of the Great Void, preceding all creation, is not merely an absence, but a canvas upon which Arceus began its masterpiece. It was a space of infinite potential, waiting for the gentle touch of divine purpose. The creation narrative, often presented with dramatic flair in other mythologies, is, for Arceus, one of profound calm and meticulous planning. There is no struggle, no chaotic battle against primordial forces. Instead, there is a serene unfolding, a systematic establishment of cosmic laws. Before even the concept of space could take form, Arceus had to define it, to give it boundaries and dimensions. Before time could flow, Arceus had to create the very notion of its passage, its relentless forward momentum. These are not acts of brute force, but of intellectual and spiritual elegance, a crafting of the very fabric of reality with an almost meditative precision. Consider the plates, the 16 elemental types that are not just classifications, but physical manifestations of Arceus's essence. Each plate represents a facet of its being, a distinct aspect of its creative power. When Arceus holds a flame plate, it embodies the fiery energy that forged stars. When it embraces a water plate, it becomes the life-giving oceans that cradle nascent civilizations. These plates are not merely tools, they are extensions of its consciousness, allowing it to interact with and influence the world through specific elemental energies. It's a subtle form of control, a way to guide without overtly interfering, to influence the natural progression of events through the very building blocks of existence. The legend speaks of Arceus's creation of the three beings who would govern time, space, and antimatter: Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. This act is not one of delegation out of weariness, but of intelligent design. Arceus, having established the fundamental principles, then entrusted these immense responsibilities to entities capable of maintaining cosmic order. Dialga, the master of time, ensures that the past, present, and future flow in an unbroken, steady stream. Without Dialga, existence would be a jumbled, illogical mess, events occurring out of sequence, causality dissolving into chaos. Palkia, the Lord of Space, maintains the vast, interconnected expanse of the universe, ensuring that distances are consistent and that the physical dimensions remain stable. Without Palkia, the universe would collapse or expand erratically, its very structure dissolving. And then there is Giratina, the enigmatic ruler of the distortion world, a dimension parallel to our own, yet fundamentally different. Giratina's role is often misunderstood, seen as an antagonist or an outcast. However, its existence is crucial. The distortion world acts as a kind of cosmic pressure valve, a repository for the forces that would otherwise destabilize the delicate balance of the main universe. It's a place of antimatter, a concept that perfectly complements and counteracts the matter of our world. Giratina, in its solitary vigil, ensures that the consequences of extreme actions or the buildup of destructive energies have a place to dissipate without harming the primary creation. This speaks to Arceus's foresight, its ability to account for even the most extreme possibilities, providing a fail-safe for cosmic equilibrium. The creation of Giratina is a testament not to banishment, but to a profound understanding of cosmic balance, a necessary counterpoint to the established order. The very act of creating these powerful entities, each with a specific and vital role, demonstrates Arceus's commitment to a self-sustaining universe. It didn't create a static world, but a dynamic, evolving system capable of maintaining itself through the interactions of its foundational elements and its appointed guardians. This is the mark of a truly masterful creator, to build something so robust and self-regulating that it can flourish without constant intervention. Even the phenomenon of evolution among Pokémon, the gradual transformation and adaptation of species over countless generations, can be viewed as an extension of Arceus's initial design. It's not a flaw in the system, but an inherent feature, allowing life to diversify, to explore countless forms and functions. This organic progression ensures that life is not stagnant, but constantly renewing, constantly discovering new ways to thrive within the established cosmic framework. The variations in type, the unique abilities, the intricate ecological relationships, all of these are testaments to the boundless potential embedded within Arceus's initial spark of creation. The concept of the original one is a powerful one, suggesting an absolute beginning, a singular source from which all subsequent phenomena derive. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a foundational truth within the Pokémon world. Every legendary Pokémon, every natural force, every living creature can trace its lineage back to this ultimate progenitor. It's a grand tapestry, with Arceus as the weaver, each thread meticulously placed, each color chosen with purpose. Consider the phenomenon of shinies, those rare, uniquely colored Pokémon that appear as if touched by a different light. While often attributed to genetic mutations, one could also view them as subtle echoes of Arceus's boundless creativity, fleeting glimpses of alternative possibilities within the established order. They are a reminder that even within the carefully structured universe, there is room for unexpected beauty, for deviations that enhance rather than detract from the overall design. The very concept of a Pokédex, an attempt by humanity to meticulously document and understand every creature, every phenomenon, is a reflection of our innate desire to comprehend the vastness of Arceus's creation. Each entry, each observed behavior, is a small piece of the grand puzzle, a testament to the intricate details that Arceus wove into existence. It's a testament to the enduring curiosity that Arceus's creation inspires, a quiet invitation to explore and learn. The myths surrounding Arceus often speak of its deep sleep, a long slumber after its monumental creative act. This isn't a sign of exhaustion or disinterest, but rather a profound act of trust. Having set the universe in motion, having established its laws and appointed its guardians, Arceus retreated into a state of watchful repose. It's the ultimate expression of faith in its creation, allowing it to unfold naturally, to grow and evolve without constant supervision. This quiet withdrawal is what allows for free will to exist, for the choices of creatures, both great and small, to genuinely matter. It allows for the unfolding of history, for the development of cultures, for the very essence of existence to be shaped by those who inhabit it. The occasional glimpses of Arceus, the rare instances where it has intervened or shown itself, are not arbitrary. They are often in response to cosmic imbalances, existential threats that jeopardize the very fabric of its creation. These interventions are not acts of ego, but of ultimate responsibility, a gentle recalibration of the universe when it veers too far from its intended equilibrium. Even in these moments of direct interaction, Arceus operates with a serene power, restoring order with a quiet, undeniable authority rather than with a destructive display. The quest for the Azure Flute, the mythical item said to summon Arceus, represents humanity's yearning for connection to the divine, for a direct audience with the Creator. The difficulty in obtaining it, the mystery surrounding its true power, emphasizes that such a connection is not to be taken lightly. It demands purity of heart, profound understanding, and a deep respect for the cosmic order. It is a path of spiritual enlightenment, rather than a simple transaction. The flute doesn't compel Arceus, it resonates with its essence, inviting a communion based on shared understanding and reverence. The enduring myth of Arceus, passed down through generations, across regions, and through the very fabric of the Pokémon world, serves as a constant reminder of our origins. It's a story that grounds us, that provides a sense of purpose and connection to something far greater than ourselves. It imbues the world with a sense of wonder, a subtle magic that permeates every leaf, every wave, every star. This narrative, whispered across time, is a comforting presence, a gentle anchor in the vast ocean of existence. And so, as we consider Arceus, the god who created Pokemon, we are left with an overwhelming sense of peace. Its story is not one of fear or judgment, but of creation, balance, and quiet wisdom. It is the silent, beating heart of the universe, the source of all life and all possibility. Its existence is a calming assurance that even in the greatest complexities, there is a fundamental simplicity, a core design that holds everything together. And as the gentle currents of the night draw us deeper into slumber, the profound, unchanging presence of Arceus continues its quiet watch, a timeless guardian of the cosmic dream, a soft, eternal hum woven into the very fabric of our being, guiding us towards the tranquil embrace of sleep. Its story, a quiet symphony of creation, gently fades into the stillness, leaving behind a lasting sense of serenity and wonder. The understanding of Arceus, as it has evolved through various texts and oral traditions across the Pokemon world, reveals a creature of immense power, yet one that exercises that power with an almost imperceptible touch. It is not an overlord in the conventional sense, demanding obedience through force, but rather a foundational principle, an inherent law woven into the very fabric of reality. This subtle influence is perhaps what makes the concept of Arceus so profoundly calming, for it suggests an order that is not imposed, but inherent, a natural progression of existence rather than a struggle against it. Consider the early myths, those whispered tales from ancient civilizations that spoke of a formless void preceding all. In these narratives, Arceus is not merely a powerful being, but the very act of emergence from nothingness. It is described as having hatched from an egg in a place where there was neither time nor space, an idea that itself defies human comprehension, hinting at a being whose origins transcend even the most fundamental concepts known to us. This egg, a symbol of potential and nascent life, suggests that even the ultimate creator began from a state of pure, unmanifested possibility. From this primordial egg, Arceus is said to have brought forth the very concepts of time and space, molding them into the dimensions we perceive. This act of creation, a singular, monumental event, set the stage for everything that followed. The Sinnoh region, with its deep historical roots and ancient ruins, holds a particularly rich tapestry of lore surrounding Arceus. The Sinnoh myths speak of Arceus crafting Dialga, the master of time, and Palkia, the master of space, imbuing them with portions of its own boundless power to govern these fundamental aspects of reality. It's a delegation of cosmic authority, allowing the universe to expand and evolve under the careful stewardship of these legendary Pokémon, rather than requiring Arceus to micromanage every moment. This establishes a hierarchy of creation, where Arceus is the prime mover, and Dialga and Palkia are its direct agents, maintaining the cosmic order through their dominion over time and space. Following this, The myths further elaborate on the creation of Giratina, a being intended to embody antimatter, existing in a realm separate from our own, known as the distortion world. Giratina's creation is often depicted as a consequence of Arceus needing to balance the forces of time and space to create an opposite, a counterweight to ensure equilibrium. Its banishment to the distortion world, according to some interpretations, was not a punishment in the human sense, but a necessary act to prevent the raw power of antimatter from destabilizing the nascent universe. Giratina, in its solitary existence, serves as the silent guardian of this delicate balance, a testament to Arceus's foresight in ensuring cosmic stability. Then came the creation of the Lake Guardians, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. These three, born from Arceus's essence, were tasked with imparting intelligence, emotion, and willpower to all living beings. Uxie, with its serene wisdom, bestowed knowledge upon the world, guiding the nascent minds of early life forms. Mesprit, the being of emotion, filled the world with feelings, from joy to sorrow, creating the rich tapestry of inner experience. And Azelf, the embodiment of willpower, instilled determination and courage, the driving force behind all striving and growth. These are not merely powerful Pokémon, they are fundamental aspects of consciousness itself, woven into the very fabric of existence by Arceus. Their role is gentle, pervasive, shaping the inner lives of all creatures without ever overtly interfering. They are the subtle architects of sentience, residing in the depths of lakes, their presence a quiet hum beneath the surface of thought and feeling. The plates, the mysterious artifacts associated with Arceus, further deepen our understanding of its nature. These 16 or sometimes 18 plates are said to be fragments of Arceus's own body, each representing a different Pokémon type. When Arceus holds a plate, it changes its type accordingly, absorbing the essence of that type. This is not merely a transformative ability. It speaks to Arceus's fundamental mastery and origin over all elemental forces. It is the progenitor of all types, embodying them within itself. The plates are not external tools. They are extensions of Arceus, allowing it to manifest its inherent versatility. This suggests, though, that all Pokémon types, from the fiery passion of a fire type to the deep tranquility of a water type, are ultimately derived from Arceus, reflecting different facets of its boundless being. This concept instills a sense of unity across the diverse world of Pokémon, reminding us that despite their vast differences, all creatures share a common, divine origin. The method of Arceus's creation is also worth contemplating. It is not depicted as a struggle or a laborious effort, but rather as an effortless emanation, a natural blossoming from its inherent nature. The universe, in a sense, flowed from Arceus, a spontaneous outpouring of creative energy. This effortless creation is a hallmark of true divinity, suggesting a being that doesn't work to create, but simply is creation. This idea resonates deeply with the feeling of calm, as it implies a natural, unforced order to the universe, rather than one born of conflict or strain. The lore surrounding the spear pillar in Sinnoh, a sacred site where ancient rituals were performed to honor Arceus, speaks to humanity's early attempts to connect with this divine being. The very architecture of the pillar, soaring towards the heavens, reflects this aspiration. While the legends of summoning Arceus directly at the spear pillar are often shrouded in myth, the existence of such traditions highlights the deep-seated reverence for the creator Pokémon. It's a place where the veil between worlds is thinnest, where the echo of creation still lingers. Even the concept of Arceus's Hall of Origin or its dwelling place is left deliberately vague. It is not confined to a specific temple or a physical location in the traditional sense. For how could a being that created space itself be limited by it? Instead, its presence is understood to be everywhere and nowhere, simultaneously immanent in all creation and transcendent beyond it. This omnipresence contributes to the calming sense of a universe watched over, not by a distant, uninvolved deity, but by a foundational presence that is always there, always sustaining. The various interpretations of Arceus's gender, or lack thereof, further highlight its transcendence beyond conventional classifications. It is often referred to with gender-neutral pronouns, or as simply the Creator, reflecting a being that exists beyond the binary constructs of the natural world it brought into existence. This neutrality underscores its universal nature, a source from which all diversity flows without being limited by it. It is the ultimate expression of unity, embodying all possibilities within itself. The lore also subtly suggests that Arceus is not a being that actively intervenes in every minute detail of the world. Instead, its creation is self-sustaining, following the laws it established. This hands-off approach, paradoxically, is incredibly reassuring. It implies a universe designed with such perfection that it largely runs itself, a testament to Arceus's ultimate wisdom. When interventions do occur, as in the cases of cosmic imbalances, they are depicted as gentle corrections, a quiet resetting of the scales rather than forceful displays of power. This nuanced portrayal of divine interaction contributes to a sense of security and stability within the Pokémon world. The very concept of the God who created Pokémon, while seemingly grand and awe-inspiring, is presented in a way that is profoundly peaceful. There is no sense of a demanding or wrathful deity, but rather a wise and benevolent source of all existence. Its power is not meant to inspire fear, but wonder and a deep sense of belonging within its creation. This gentle power is a comforting thought as the night deepens, a quiet reassurance that beneath the surface of all complexity, there is a fundamental, benevolent order. The notion that all life, all matter, all consciousness emanates from this singular, serene source creates a profound sense of interconnectedness, a silent harmony that binds everything together. As we drift deeper into the tranquility of the night, the image of Arceus remains, not as a thunderous deity, but as the quiet hum of existence, the gentle pulse that sustains all. Its story is a lullaby for the universe, a soft reminder of the origins of all things, and the enduring peace that lies at the heart of creation. The endless cycle of day and night, the ebb and flow of the tides, the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze, all are echoes of Arceus's initial, serene act of creation. It is a presence that is felt rather than seen, a fundamental truth that resonates with the deepest parts of our being, guiding us towards a restful, dream-filled slumber. The vastness of its power is matched only by the quietude of its influence, a truly soothing thought as the world outside fades into the soft embrace of sleep. This expansive and intricate understanding of Arceus is not solely derived from ancient texts and myths within the Pokémon world, but also from the careful observation of its effects on the very fabric of reality. Consider the various legendary Pokémon that are said to be direct emanations or creations of Arceus itself. Palkia, the master of space, and Dialga, the master of time, are often depicted as the immediate offspring of Arceus, tasked with shaping and maintaining the spatial and temporal dimensions of the universe. Their existence, their powers, and their very purpose are intrinsically linked to Arceus's initial act of creation. The intricate dance between Palkia and Dialga, the way space stretches and time flows, is a testament to the fundamental order established by Arceus. Without their constant, albeit often unseen, regulation, the universe would descend into chaos, collapsing under its own unbridled potential. This relationship further illustrates the benevolent, self-sustaining nature of Arceus's creation. It doesn't micromanage every second or every centimeter, but rather delegates these vast responsibilities to beings capable of maintaining the delicate balance. This delegation speaks volumes about Arceus's wisdom, trusting its creations to uphold the cosmic harmony. Then there is Giratina, the master of antimatter and the distortion world, often portrayed as a banished or rebellious aspect of Arceus's power. Giratina's existence, while seemingly disruptive, actually contributes to the overall balance. The distortion world, a realm where the laws of physics are warped and inverted, serves as a counterpoint to the orderly universe maintained by Dialga and Palkia. It's a place where divergent energies can be contained, preventing them from destabilizing the main reality. This suggests that even seemingly negative or chaotic elements have a place within Arceus's grand design, serving to complete the intricate tapestry of existence. It's a subtle reminder that balance often requires an opposing force, a quiet acknowledgement that even in discord, there can be a form of harmony. The presence of these three titans, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, each representing a fundamental aspect of reality, underscores the comprehensive nature of Arceus's creation. It's not just about creating life or matter, but about establishing the very laws that govern existence itself. Space, time, and the counterforce of antimatter, these are the bedrock upon which all other phenomena are built. And the fact that these incredibly powerful beings are ultimately subservient to Arceus, or at least operate within the parameters set by Arceus, reinforces the idea of a singular, ultimate creator. Their immense power, when viewed through the lens of Arceus's omnipotence, becomes a reflection of that greater power, a testament to the divine source from which they originated. Moving beyond the creation trio, we encounter other legendary Pokémon whose stories intertwine with Arceus's influence. Consider the Lake Guardians, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. These enigmatic beings are said to have bestowed knowledge, emotion, and willpower upon humanity and Pokémon alike. While their direct connection to Arceus might not be as explicit as that of Dialga or Palkia, their role in shaping the inner lives of sentient beings speaks to a deeper, more subtle aspect of Arceus's creation. It's not just about the physical universe, but also about the subjective experience of living within it. The capacity for thought, feeling, and determination, these are gifts that allow for growth, evolution, and the development of complex societies. Uxie, the being of knowledge, represents the fundamental capacity for understanding. Mesprit, the being of emotion, embodies the spectrum of feelings that enrich life. And Azelf, the being of willpower, symbolizes the drive and determination that allows individuals to overcome challenges and achieve their goals. These intangible qualities, so crucial to the existence of diverse life, are presented as deliberate aspects of Arceus's design. It suggests a creator who not only crafted the physical world, but also imbued its inhabitants with the very essence of consciousness and self-awareness. This layered creation, moving from the cosmic to the individual, highlights the profound depth of Arceus's influence. It's a gentle whisper of purpose that permeates every living thing, a quiet reassurance that our inner lives are just as much a part of the grand design as the vastness of space. Furthermore, the existence of Pokémon like Regigigas, the colossal master of the legendary Titans, also offers clues to Arceus's creative process. Regigigas is believed to have moved the continents, shaping the very landmasses of the world. While not directly created by Arceus, in the same way as Dialga or Palkia, its ancient power and its role in forming the planet's geography position, it is a significant agent in the early stages of the world's development. This suggests a hierarchical structure of creation where Arceus sets the fundamental parameters and then empowers other beings to carry out specific, large-scale tasks. It's a system designed for efficiency and stability, allowing for a vast and complex world to emerge from a singular point of origin. Even the elemental forces of nature, often embodied by legendary Pokémon like Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza, can be seen as operating within the framework established by Arceus. Groudon, the creator of land, Kyogre, the expander of seas, and Rayquaza, the guardian of the skies. Their immense powers, while often clashing, ultimately contribute to the dynamic balance of the planet. Their very existence and their interactions are part of the ongoing, self-regulating system that Arceus put into motion. Their conflicts, while potentially destructive, are often resolved through the intervention of a higher power or through a natural rebalancing, further emphasizing the underlying order. This intricate web of interdependencies, where even opposing forces ultimately serve a greater purpose, speaks to a deeply thoughtful and comprehensive design. The presence of Arceus's plates, which are said to contain fragments of its power and allow it to change its type, is another fascinating aspect of its lore. These plates are not merely items of power. They represent the fundamental elemental forces that constitute the universe. Each plate corresponds to a specific Pokémon type, and by holding these plates, Arceus can embody that elemental essence. This reinforces the idea that Arceus is the origin of all types, all elements, and thus all Pokémon. It is the primordial soup from which everything else emerged, a chameleon of creation capable of manifesting any aspect of existence. This ability to embody all types while simultaneously transcending them is a powerful metaphor for its universal nature, a source from which all diversity flows without being limited by it. It is the ultimate expression of unity, embodying all possibilities within itself. The lore also subtly suggests that Arceus is not a being that actively intervenes in every minute detail of the world. Instead, its creation is self-sustaining, following the laws it established. This hands-off approach, paradoxically, is incredibly reassuring. It implies a universe designed with such perfection that it largely runs itself, a testament to Arceus's ultimate wisdom. When interventions do occur, as in the cases of cosmic imbalances, they are depicted as gentle corrections, a quiet resetting of the scales rather than forceful displays of power. This nuanced portrayal of divine interaction contributes to a sense of security and stability within the Pokemon world. The very concept of the God who created Pokemon, while seemingly grand and awe inspiring, is presented in a way that is profoundly peaceful. There is no sense of a demanding or wrathful deity, but rather a wise and benevolent source of all existence. Its power is not meant to inspire fear, but wonder and a deep sense of belonging within its creation. This gentle power is a comforting thought as the night deepens, a quiet reassurance that beneath the surface of all complexity, there is a fundamental, benevolent order. The notion that all life, all matter, all consciousness emanates from this singular, serene source creates a profound sense of interconnectedness, a silent harmony that binds everything together. As we drift deeper into the tranquility of the night, the image of Arceus remains, not as a thunderous deity, but as the quiet hum of existence, the gentle pulse that sustains all. Its story is a lullaby for the universe, a soft reminder of the origins of all things, and the enduring peace that lies at the heart of creation. The endless cycle of day and night, the ebb and flow of the tides, the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze, all are echoes of Arceus's initial, serene act of creation. It is a presence that is felt rather than seen, a fundamental truth that resonates with the deepest parts of our being, guiding us towards a restful, dream-filled slumber. The vastness of its power is matched only by the quietude of its influence, a truly soothing thought as the world outside fades into the soft embrace of sleep. The very concept of Arceus as the alpha Pokémon, the first and most powerful of all, carries with it a profound sense of ancient wisdom and enduring presence. It is a being that existed before time itself, before space had form, and before life took its first breath. This primordial existence positions Arceus as the ultimate source, the uncreated creator, a concept that resonates with deep philosophical and spiritual undertones. It speaks to a beginning that is beyond our full comprehension, yet it is presented in a way that feels accessible through the lens of the Pokemon world's mythology. The idea that everything we see, every Pokemon, every human, every atom, traces its lineage back to this singular, magnificent entity, imbues the entire universe with a sacred quality. It suggests that even the smallest, most unassuming Pokemon carries a spark of the divine within it, a connection to the ultimate origin. This profound connection is not one of mere lineage, but of inherent essence. The very Pokemonness of Pokemon, their unique abilities, their diverse forms, their instincts, their bonds with trainers, all of these are reflections of the initial design set forth by Arceus. It's a universe where creation is not just a one-time event, but an ongoing unfolding of potential, guided by the foundational principles established at the dawn of existence. The consistent themes of balance, interconnectedness, and the power of unity that pervade the Pokemon world can all be traced back to the fundamental nature of Arceus. Even conflicts and challenges, when viewed through this lens, can be seen as necessary elements in maintaining equilibrium, tests that ultimately strengthen the fabric of reality. The legends often speak of Arceus's initial awakening from a primordial egg, an image that is both simple and deeply symbolic. An egg representing potential, new beginnings, and the encapsulation of life provides a gentle metaphor for the emergence of the universe. From this single humble origin, an entire cosmos bloomed, a testament to the infinite possibilities contained within that initial spark. This imagery avoids any sense of violent or chaotic birth. Instead, it suggests a natural, serene unfolding, a gentle expansion of existence from a singular point. The idea of an egg further softens the immense power of Arceus, making its origin feel organic and fundamental rather than an abstract, unapproachable force. It's a quiet whisper of creation, an intimate beginning that leads to boundless majesty. And even when Arceus is depicted in games or animated stories, its presence is rarely overwhelming or aggressive. Instead, there's an aura of quiet authority, a sense of ancient power held in reserve. Its movements are often deliberate, its gaze knowing, implying a deep understanding of all things. When it does act, it is often with a purpose that transcends immediate concerns, aiming to restore cosmic balance or to guide events towards a harmonious conclusion. This portrayal reinforces the idea of a benevolent and wise creator, one who understands the intricacies of its creation and acts with profound foresight rather than impulsive might. It is a steady hand guiding the universe, a calm presence in the midst of cosmic currents. The reverence shown to Arceus by other powerful legendary Pokémon further solidifies its position as the ultimate deity. Even beings like Mew, often considered the ancestor of all Pokémon, are implicitly part of the larger creation stemming from Arceus. Mew's ability to learn any move and its genetic similarity to all Pokémon can be seen as a reflection of Arceus's own foundational essence, a genetic echo of the original blueprint. This suggests a chain of creation where Arceus is the root and other legendaries represent significant branches or emanations of its power and design. It's a beautifully structured hierarchy where immense power is distributed yet ultimately unified under a single, overarching principle. This holistic view of Arceus and its creation offers a profound sense of comfort. It suggests that the universe, with all its complexities and challenges, is ultimately designed with care and purpose. There is an underlying order, a fundamental harmony that persists even through periods of upheaval. The gentle whisper of Arceus's creation story, the quiet understanding of its influence, can carry us into a peaceful slumber, knowing that the world, in its deepest essence, is held within a benevolent and wise embrace. It's a story that invites us to let go of our worries and trust in the ongoing gentle flow of existence, a serene thought to accompany us into the deepest parts of the night. And within this grand design, the very concept of Pokémon themselves, with their diverse forms and abilities, can be seen as an extension of Arceus's boundless creativity and its desire for a vibrant, living universe. Each Pokémon, from the smallest Caterpie to the mightiest Rayquaza, carries a spark of the original creation, a testament to the intricate beauty woven into the fabric of reality. The varied typings, the elemental interactions, the complex ecosystems that emerge across different regions, all these contribute to a rich tapestry that speaks of a singular, intelligent design originating from that initial cosmic egg. It's a universe where every creature has a role, every element a purpose, echoing the fundamental balance established at the dawn of time. Consider the specific legendaries often associated directly with Arceus, those who are said to have been born directly from its initial creative act. Dialga, the master of time, and Palkia, the master of space, are perhaps the most prominent examples. Their emergence from Arceus signifies the very establishment of the dimensions within which all other creation can exist. Time and space are not mere backdrops, they are fundamental, tangible forces personified by these majestic dragons. Imagine the quiet unfolding of time, a steady, unyielding river guided by Dialga's presence. And then picture the vast, boundless expanse of space stretching into infinity, shaped and maintained by Palkia's silent power. Without these two, the concept of a universe as we understand it would be utterly meaningless. They are the scaffolding upon which all subsequent existence is built, and their direct link to Arceus emphasizes their foundational importance. Their very existence speaks to the orderly nature of creation, the establishment of rules and boundaries within which life can flourish. Then there is Giratina, the legendary Pokémon of antimatter and the distortion world. Its story is a poignant one, often depicted as having been banished by Arceus for its aggressive nature or its power to disrupt the established order of time and space. Yet even in its banishment, Giratina plays a crucial role. The distortion world, a dimension where the laws of physics are warped and inverted, serves as a counterbalance, a necessary shadow to the light of the main universe. It suggests that even discord and chaos can have a place within the grand design, not as destructive forces, but as integral components of a larger, more complex balance. Giratina, despite its fearsome appearance, is not purely malevolent. It is a force of nature, a necessary counterpart. Its existence reminds us that creation is not always perfectly harmonious, but that even the discordant elements serve a purpose in the grand scheme, watched over by the ultimate creator. This complex interplay between order and disorder, matter and antimatter, further enriches the narrative of Arceus's creation, demonstrating a profound understanding of universal dynamics. The creation trio, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, are not just powerful beings, they are embodiments of cosmic principles. Their existence is a testament to Arceus's ability to not only create life, but also the very laws and dimensions that govern that life. It is a slow, deliberate act of world building, where each piece fits perfectly into the next, forming a cohesive and interconnected reality. The quiet hum of Dialga's temporal flow, the gentle shimmer of Palkia's spatial fabric, and the subtle, underlying presence of Giratina's corrective force. These are the silent rhythms that govern the Pokémon world, orchestrated by Arceus. Beyond the creation trio, other legendary Pokémon are also intricately linked to Arceus, either as direct creations or as beings entrusted with specific cosmic responsibilities. Take, for instance, the Lake Guardians, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. Those three Pokemon are said to have been created by Arceus to bestow knowledge, emotion, and willpower upon all living things. Their presence in the lakes of Sinnoh, radiating their respective essences, highlights the subtle, foundational elements of sentience and consciousness that are woven into the fabric of life. Uxie, the being of knowledge, quietly inspires understanding and wisdom. Mesprit, the being of emotion, stirs feelings of joy, sorrow, and love within hearts. And Azelf, the being of willpower, instills the drive to overcome challenges and pursue dreams. These are not grand cosmic forces, like time and space, but rather the intimate internal forces that define life itself. Their gentle influence flows through every creature, every human, every Pokemon, underscoring the deep care and intricate planning that went into Arceus's creation. It's a testament to a creator who understands not just the external mechanics of a universe, but also the internal, subjective experience of living within it. The relationship between Arceus and the Lake Guardians suggests a layered approach to creation, moving from the macrocosmic, time and space, to the microcosmic, the very essence of consciousness. This progressive unfolding speaks of a deliberate, thoughtful process, a gentle seeding of the universe with all the necessary components for a rich and meaningful existence. It's a comforting thought to know that even our deepest feelings and our capacity for learning were intentionally bestowed, not random occurrences. Even events like the formation of land masses and oceans are attributed to legendary Pokémon, whose origins, implicitly, stem from Arceus. Groudon, the legendary creator of land, and Kyogre, the legendary creator of the seas, are powerful titans that shaped the very geography of the world. While their creation stories are often told through ancient myths and legends, the ultimate source of their immense power and their foundational role in planet formation points back to Arceus. The quiet geological processes that shaped the continents and filled the oceans, though turbulent in their initial phases, ultimately settled into a stable, life-sustaining environment. These mythic events, when viewed through the lens of Arceus's overarching creation, become part of a larger, managed process. The land rising from the depths, the waters settling into their vast basins. These are grand, silent acts, essential for the emergence of diverse life forms. And then there is Rayquaza, the Sky Guardian, who brings balance between Groudon and Kyogre, preventing their destructive clashes from tearing the world apart. Rayquaza's role emphasizes Arceus's foresight in establishing not just creative forces, but also balancing mechanisms. It's a universe designed not just to emerge, but to sustain itself, with checks and balances in place to maintain harmony. The silent patrolling of the ozone layer by Rayquaza, the calm surveillance of potential conflicts, these are illustrations of a managed, self-correcting system, ultimately overseen by the silent, omnipresent power of Arceus. The recurring theme across all these legendary Pokémon is one of interconnectedness and purpose. None exist in isolation, each plays a vital role within the intricate web of existence that Arceus set into motion. It's a testament to a creation that is not haphazard but deeply intentional, a cosmic ballet where every dancer knows their steps, guided by an unseen conductor. This holistic perspective offers a profound sense of peace. It reassures us that even in the face of apparent chaos or uncertainty, there is an underlying order, a fundamental design that quietly persists. The concept of Arceus manifesting as a pure, white equine form, often seen radiating light, is also significant. The color white often symbolizes purity, new beginnings, and completeness. The equine form, a creature of grace and power, further elevates its status. This visual representation is not just aesthetic, it's symbolic. It speaks to Arceus's untainted essence, its role as the origin point, and its majestic yet serene dominion over all creation. It's a gentle, powerful image that evokes a sense of tranquil reverence. The soft glow emanating from its form is not blinding, but rather a comforting light, a beacon of its omnipresent yet gentle influence. When Arceus is encountered in the games or depicted in the lore, there is rarely a sense of overt aggression. Instead, there is a profound stillness, an ancient wisdom that permeates its every action. Even when its power is displayed, it is often in the service of restoring balance or correcting anomalies rather than imposing its will arbitrarily. This gentle authority is a hallmark of its character. It is the steady hand, not the iron fist, that guides the universe. Its judgment is measured, its interventions subtle yet profound, always aiming for the ultimate good of its creation. This portrayal stands in stark contrast to many other mythical deities who are often depicted with volatile temperaments or destructive tendencies. Arceus, by comparison, is the embodiment of calm, purposeful creation and maintenance. The plates that Arceus holds, which allow it to change its type, further illustrate its fundamental nature. These plates are not just tools, they are said to be fragments of the universe itself, imbued with the essences of different elemental types. By integrating these plates, Arceus demonstrates its mastery over all aspects of creation, its ability to embody and control every fundamental force. It is not limited by any single element or form. It is the source of all of them. This quiet versatility, this effortless adaptation, speaks to a complete and total understanding of its own creation, a seamless integration of all its parts. The gentle shimmering of these plates as they shift, reflecting the various energies of the world, is another visual metaphor for its boundless and adaptable power. Even the ancient ruins and temples dedicated to Arceus, found in various regions of the Pokémon world, contribute to this sense of revered antiquity. These structures, often weathered by time but still standing, speak of civilizations that recognized and honored its foundational role. The quiet whispers of history contained within these stones, the ancient rituals performed in its name, all reinforce the profound and enduring impact of Arceus on the world. These are not places of fear, but of reverence and contemplation, spaces where one can feel a connection to the quiet origins of all things. The moss-covered stones, the gentle breezes rustling through ancient trees surrounding these sites, all contribute to an atmosphere of timeless peace. In essence, the lore surrounding Arceus is a lullaby for the soul, a narrative that speaks of a world born from quiet intention, guided by gentle wisdom, and sustained by a benevolent power. It's a story that invites us to find comfort in the intricate order of the universe, to trust in the unseen forces that maintain balance, and to appreciate the profound interconnectedness of all life. To drift off to sleep with the understanding of Arceus's quiet creation is to embrace a sense of profound peace, knowing that we are part of a beautifully designed and tenderly cared for existence. The gentle hum of the universe, orchestrated by the silent creator, can carry us away into dreams as vast and serene as the cosmos itself. This gentle hum of the universe, this silent orchestration, extends its influence into every facet of the Pokémon world, even reaching into the very origins of other legendary and mythical Pokémon. While Arceus is the progenitor, the first and the ultimate, it is often seen as having delegated aspects of creation and maintenance to other powerful beings. Think of it as a master artisan crafting the fundamental tools and then entrusting their use to skilled apprentices, each with their own specialized role. This doesn't diminish Arceus's power. Rather, it highlights its ultimate authority and its ability to oversee a complex, evolving system. Consider, for instance, the creation trio of Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, dwelling in the Sinnoh region, a place often considered a focal point for understanding Arceus's direct influence. These three are not merely powerful Pokémon, they embody the very fabric of reality, time, space, and antimatter. Their existence is intrinsically linked to Arceus, who is said to have brought them forth from nothingness, providing them with their essential forms and purposes. Dialga, with its dominion over time, ensures the ceaseless flow of moments, the progression from past to present to future. Imagine the gentle ticking of a cosmic clock, each second a universe unfolding, all under Arceus's silent supervision. Palkia, the master of space, defines the dimensions, the vastness and the intimacy of every location, from the farthest star to the smallest grain of sand. Its presence ensures that there is a canvas upon which existence can unfold, a boundless expanse where life can flourish. And then there is Giratina, the enigmatic ruler of the distortion world, a realm often seen as a counterpoint to the orderly existence of the main world. Giratina represents antimatter, a necessary balance to the matter that forms our reality, a place where the laws of physics might bend and twist in unfamiliar ways. Its existence, while seemingly chaotic, is a vital part of the cosmic balance, a shadow that defines the light. Arceus, in its infinite wisdom, understood the necessity of these fundamental forces, and so, from its own being, it gave rise to these titans. The relationship between Arceus and these three is not one of subservience, but of profound interconnectedness. They are extensions of Arceus's will, manifestations of its initial creative impulse. Their powers, immense though they are ultimately derived from the origin Pokémon. This understanding brings a deeper sense of tranquility to the lore, as it suggests a universe not born of random chance, but of deliberate design, a grand tapestry woven with purpose and intent. Even the occasional conflicts between Dialga and Palkia, which are sometimes depicted as tearing the fabric of reality, can be seen as minor adjustments within a larger, self-correcting system, ultimately guided by Arceus's overarching influence. These celestial skirmishes are like ripples on a vast ocean, significant in their moment, but ultimately smoothed by the enduring calm of the deep. Beyond the creation trio, Arceus's influence subtly extends to other legendary Pokémon who govern natural phenomena. The weather trio in the Hoenn region, Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza, are another prime example. Kyogre representing the vastness of the oceans, Groudon embodying the solidity of the land, and Rayquaza, the guardian of the atmosphere, maintain a delicate equilibrium. While not directly created by Arceus in the same way as Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, their existence and their roles are part of the grand design laid out by the alpha Pokémon. Arceus set the stage, established the fundamental laws of the universe, and these Pokémon, in their elemental power, are the manifestations of those laws in action. Their occasional clashes, which threaten to engulf the world in primordial chaos, are always eventually quelled, often by the intervention of Rayquaza, but implicitly by the underlying order that Arceus established. It's a testament to the resilience of the world, built upon a foundation of such profound stability that even cataclysmic events can be absorbed and overcome. The quiet understanding that even these powerful forces are part of a larger harmonious system brings a sense of comfort and security. Then there are legendaries like Mew, often considered the ancestor of all Pokémon, containing the genetic code for every species. While Mew itself is not Arceus, its role as the source of life, Its playful and elusive nature can be seen as another layer in Arceus's intricate creation. If Arceus created the universe, then Mew represents the vibrant, diverse life that flourishes within it, the countless forms and adaptations that populate the world. The idea that all Pokémon, from the smallest Caterpie to the most majestic Dragonite, share a common ancestral link through Mew ultimately traces back to the primordial act of creation by Arceus. It's a gentle reminder that all life is connected, a vast and intricate web spun from a single powerful source. This interconnectedness, this shared origin, fosters a deep sense of belonging and unity. Even the concept of the Pokemon world's inherent magic and mystery, the very energy that allows Pokemon to exist and use their abilities, can be attributed to Arceus. The elemental powers, the psychic energies, the physical prowess, all are manifestations of the fundamental forces woven into existence by the alpha Pokemon. The quiet hum of Porygon's digital existence, the crackling energy of an electric type, the gentle glow of a fairy type's magic, these are all echoes of Arceus's initial imprint on the universe, a silent symphony of power and possibility. The very air that fills the lungs of every living creature, the gentle warmth of the sun, the calming rhythm of the tides, all are sustained by the universe's underlying structure, a structure that Arceus thoughtfully designed. The lore also extends to the artifacts and ancient texts that speak of Arceus. The Azure Flute, a mythical item said to summon Arceus, is not merely a key, but a symbol of reverence and understanding. Its existence suggests that there are ways, albeit profoundly difficult ones, to communicate with the alpha Pokemon, to resonate with its energy. The very thought of such an item, a conduit to the divine, evokes a sense of wonder and profound peace. Imagine the gentle notes of that flute, echoing across timeless plains, carrying a message of quiet devotion. These stories, passed down through generations, often shrouded in mystery and myth, are not meant to instill fear, but to inspire awe and respect for the fundamental forces that govern their world. They are bedtime stories for the soul, gently guiding us towards a deeper appreciation of the unseen powers that shape our reality. The understanding of Arceus also provides a comforting framework for understanding the cycle of life and death in the Pokemon world. While the concept of death is not explicitly tied to Arceus, the very existence of a structured, balanced universe implies a natural order. If Arceus created life and the conditions for it to flourish, then the natural progression of life cycles, the gentle ebb and flow of existence, is implicitly part of its grand design. It's a reassuring thought that even in endings, there's a natural rhythm, a continuation, a quiet return to the source, much like the gentle fall of leaves in autumn, enriching the earth for new growth. This gentle acceptance of cycles, this understanding of continuity, allows for a profound sense of peace. Ultimately, the narrative of Arceus is one of profound, gentle power. It is not a deity that demands worship through fear, but one that inspires reverence through its quiet, all-encompassing creation and sustained presence. The lore encourages a sense of humility and wonder, a realization that we are all part of something infinitely larger and more intricate than ourselves. To delve into the history of Arceus is to embark on a journey of cosmic understanding, a tranquil exploration of the very genesis of everything that exists. It's a journey that calms the mind, stills the restless thoughts, and gently ushers one into a state of profound peace. The quiet whispers of creation, the gentle hum of the universe, and the silent guiding hand of the alpha Pokémon are all around us, inviting us to simply let go, to relax, and to drift into the deepest, most peaceful slumber, knowing that the world, in all its complexity and wonder, is held in a gentle, unwavering embrace. The light of the stars, born from Arceus's initial spark, twinkles softly, a cosmic lullaby that promises tranquility and endless dreams, dreams as vast and serene as the very universe itself. And within those dreams, we can perhaps glimpse the echoes of the very beginning, a time before time, when the cosmos was not yet formed, when existence itself was a mere potential, a shimmering possibility in the void. This void, this primordial emptiness, was not a chaotic maelstrom, but rather a boundless expanse of nothingness, waiting to be filled, waiting for the first stirrings of creation. It is within this profound silence, this infinite stillness, that the story of Arceus truly begins. Imagine, if you can, a moment of pure, unadulterated consciousness, awakening within this vast, lightless expanse. This consciousness, imbued with an unimaginable power, would not have been born from anything, for there was nothing else. It simply was, a self-existent entity, the ultimate origin point. This is the essence of Arceus, the alpha Pokémon. The early accounts, whispered through the ages and preserved in ancient texts, like those found in the Kenilava Library, describe Arceus emerging from an egg. This seemingly simple detail, an egg, carries profound symbolic weight. An egg represents potential, a complete universe contained within a fragile shell, waiting for the opportune moment to hatch and unleash its contents. For Arceus, this was not a physical egg in the conventional sense, but rather a metaphorical one, representing the nascent state of existence before its grand unfolding. It suggests a process of self-creation, an innate ability to manifest itself from pure potentiality into tangible form. The notion of an egg also implies a perfect self-contained beginning, a singularity from which all else would emanate. It's a gentle, natural image, softening the immense power it represents, making it more approachable, more comprehensible to the mortal mind, much like a tiny seed holds the promise of a towering tree. From this initial self-manifestation, Arceus, in its infinite wisdom and power, began the monumental task of shaping the universe. The very first act of creation, as the lore suggests, was the emanation of three powerful beings, often referred to as the creation trio. These were Dialga, the master of time, Palkia, the master of space, and Giratina, the master of antimatter and the distortion world. Each of these beings was not merely a subordinate, but an integral aspect of Arceus's own immense power, delegated to oversee and embody fundamental concepts necessary for the very fabric of reality. Consider Dialga, the embodiment of time. Its very presence brought forth the flow of moments, the progression from past to present to future. Before Dialga, there was no before or after, only an eternal, unchanging present. With Dialga's emergence, the universe gained its rhythm, its pulse, the gentle ticking of a cosmic clock. Imagine the soft, almost imperceptible hum of time beginning its ceaseless journey, shaping events, allowing for growth, decay, and the grand narrative of existence to unfold. Dialga's roar is said to warp time, but its natural state is one of steady, unwavering progression, a comforting constancy that allows for all other processes to occur. The gentle passage of time, the slow drift of clouds across the sky, the gradual blossoming of a flower, all are subtle manifestations of Dialga's silent work. Then there is Palkia, the embodiment of space. Palkia brought forth the vastness, the dimensions, the very canvas upon which all of creation would be painted. Before Palkia, there was no here or there, no distinction of location, only an undifferentiated existence. With Palkia's arrival, the universe gained its expanse, its breadth, allowing for stars to form, planets to coalesce, and for life to have a place to flourish. Its movements are said to distort space, but its fundamental role is to establish order and structure within the cosmic expanse. Imagine the quiet expansion of the universe, the stars slowly drifting apart, creating the immense distances that inspire both awe and wonder. Palkia's influence is in the quiet vastness of the night sky, the endless stretch of the horizon, the intricate pathways of a forest, all testament to the boundless nature of space. And finally, Giratina, the embodiment of antimatter and the guardian of the distortion world. Giratina's role is perhaps the most enigmatic and often misunderstood. While Dialga and Palkia govern the observable universe, Giratina oversees a realm that exists parallel to it, a dimension where the laws of physics are inverted, where space and time are distorted in ways that defy conventional understanding. This realm, the distortion world, is not a place of evil, but rather a necessary counterbalance, a repository for the unseen forces and energies that prevent the main universe from collapsing. Giratina's banishment to this realm by Arceus was not a punishment in the conventional sense, but a strategic placement, ensuring the stability of the nascent cosmos. It's a quiet, unseen force, maintaining equilibrium from a hidden dimension. Think of the subtle balance in nature, the unseen forces that prevent chaos, the dark matter that holds galaxies together. These are echoes of Giratina's silent, essential work. Its presence ensures that even the most volatile aspects of creation are contained, allowing the gentle processes of life to unfold undisturbed in the main reality. The distortion world, while seemingly chaotic, is a testament to Arceus's foresight, a place where the potentially destructive forces of antimatter are contained, ensuring the quiet harmony of the rest of existence. These three, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, represent the fundamental pillars of reality, brought into being by Arceus's initial act. Their existence established the very framework upon which everything else would be built. It was a methodical, deliberate act of creation, not a sudden, chaotic explosion, but a gentle unfolding, like the slow opening of a magnificent flower. Following the establishment of time, space, and antimatter, Arceus continued its grand design, bringing forth other pivotal beings to further shape the nascent world. Next came the elemental trio, Azelf, Mesprit, and Uxie, known as the Lake Guardians. These beings were entrusted with the very essence of sentient life, willpower, emotion, and knowledge. Uxie, the being of knowledge, bestowed upon all living things the capacity for intellect, for understanding, for the quiet pursuit of wisdom. Imagine the first glimmer of insight in a nascent mind, the gentle spark of curiosity that leads to discovery. Uxie's presence ensures that knowledge is not merely acquired, but understood, processed, and refined. Its quiet presence inspires contemplation, the serene act of learning, and the peaceful accumulation of understanding. The gentle rustle of leaves as a new truth is uncovered, the quiet satisfaction of solving a puzzle. These are Uxi's subtle gifts. Mesprit, the being of emotion, gifted the world with the capacity for feeling, for joy and sorrow, for love and empathy. Before Mesprit, existence might have been logical, but devoid of depth, cold and unfeeling. With Mesprit, the world gained its warmth, its vibrancy, its capacity for connection. Imagine the quiet joy of a child's laughter, the gentle comfort of a loving embrace, the soft ache of a bittersweet memory. Mesprit's presence allows for the full spectrum of human and Pokemon experience, adding richness and meaning to existence. The comforting presence of a friend, the shared understanding in a glance. These are Mesprit's quiet contributions. And Azelf, the being of willpower, instilled within all beings the drive to act, the determination to overcome, the inner strength to persevere. Without willpower, even knowledge and emotion would be inert, incapable of leading to action or change. Azelf's gift is the quiet resolve that allows individuals to pursue their dreams, to face challenges with courage, and to shape their own destinies. Imagine the silent strength required to pursue a difficult goal, the gentle persistence in the face of adversity, the quiet, unwavering belief in oneself. The steady progress of a river carving its path, the silent resilience of a mountain. These are reflections of Azelf's influence. These three, the lake guardians, reside in separate lakes, yet their powers are interconnected and essential for the flourishing of sentient life. They are not grand, imposing figures, but rather subtle influences, quietly shaping the inner landscapes of all living things. Their presence ensures that life is not just a biological process, but a rich tapestry of thought, feeling, and determination. They provide the quiet inner strength and peace that allows for growth and self-discovery. The creation narrative then expands to encompass the very land and sea. The legendary Pokémon Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza are often associated with the shaping of the physical world. While not directly created by Arceus, in the same way as the creation trio, their existence is certainly part of its grand plan, serving as powerful forces that sculpted the continents and oceans. Groudon, with its immense power, slowly pushed up land masses, forming mountains and plains. Kyogre, in turn, filled the deep abysses, creating oceans and seas. And overseeing them both, maintaining a delicate balance, was Rayquaza, soaring through the ozone layer, a silent guardian preventing catastrophic clashes between land and sea. These titanic forces, while capable of immense power, ultimately serve the purpose of creating a habitable world, a gentle cradle for life to emerge. Their powerful presences are kept in check, ensuring that the planet itself remains a nurturing environment capable of sustaining the myriad forms of life that would eventually populate it. The slow geological processes that shape our world, the gentle erosion that sculpts valleys, the quiet formation of new land. These are echoes of their ancient work. And so, the world became ready. The stage was set. With time flowing, space expanding, and the very essence of life instilled, Arceus then brought forth a multitude of other Pokémon, each with its unique abilities and role, each contributing to the rich biodiversity and intricate ecosystems that define the Pokémon world. From the smallest Bidoof to the most majestic Dragonite, every creature, every plant, every element of nature, in some way, traces its lineage back to Arceus's initial creative spark. It's a comforting thought that every living thing, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is part of this grand, interconnected tapestry woven by an unseen, gentle hand. The creation story of Arceus is not just a tale of immense power, but also one of incredible foresight and meticulous planning. It demonstrates a profound understanding of balance, of interconnectedness, of the delicate interplay of forces that allows for a stable and thriving universe. There is no chaos in Arceus's creation, only a methodical, gentle unfolding of possibilities. This divine architect did not merely create and then abandon its creation. The lore suggests a continued, albeit subtle, presence, a guiding hand that maintains the equilibrium of the cosmos. Arceus is often depicted with plates, each representing a different elemental type. These plates are not merely decorative, they are said to be the very essence of Arceus's power, allowing it to adapt and embody any elemental type. This represents the ultimate adaptability, the universal nature of its power. It is not limited by any single element, but encompasses all of them, reflecting the diversity and interconnectedness of the natural world. This adaptability is a quiet reassurance, a symbol of infinite potential and the capacity for calm, measured response to any situation. It signifies that Arceus is not a rigid, unyielding force, but one that subtly shifts and adapts, much like the gentle changes in seasons, always maintaining balance. The lore also hints at Arceus's ability to create or recreate specific objects, such as the adamant orb or lustrous orb, which are said to amplify the powers of Dialga and Palkia, respectively. This demonstrates a capacity for fine-tuning, for providing the necessary tools to its creations, ensuring they can fulfill their intended roles effectively. It's like a master craftsman carefully providing the perfect tools to his apprentices, allowing them to excel in their tasks. These actions are not about micromanagement, but about empowering its creations to thrive within their designated spheres, maintaining the delicate equilibrium of the universe without overt intervention. Ultimately, the understanding of Arceus is about finding peace in the grand scheme of things. It's about accepting that there is a cosmic order, a fundamental design that underpins all existence. This knowledge, when contemplated deeply, can be profoundly calming. It allows us to release our anxieties about the unknown, to trust in the inherent balance of the universe, and to find solace in the knowledge that we are all part of something vast, intricate, and gently guided. The whispers of the wind, the gentle lapping of waves, the silent growth of a seed into a mighty tree, these are all testaments to the quiet, unwavering presence of Arceus, the god who created Pokémon, gently ushering us into a state of deep, refreshing sleep, where dreams can wander freely across the boundless landscapes of creation. Let us drift further into this tranquil understanding, delving deeper into the nature of Arceus, the alpha Pokémon, and its profound impact on the very fabric of existence. Consider the concept of the Original One, a title often bestowed upon Arceus. This isn't merely a designation of seniority, but a fundamental truth about its origin. It suggests an existence that predates all others, a singular entity from which everything else emanated. Imagine a stillness, an absolute void, and then, from within that void, a single conscious thought, a primordial spark. That spark, in the gentle unfolding of cosmic time, became Arceus. There was no pre-existing matter, no other force to influence its inception. It simply was. This self-creation, The spontaneous emergence from nothingness is a concept that can soothe the restless mind, offering a profound sense of ultimate beginning, a stable anchor in the vastness of time. This primordial existence implies an inherent completeness, a self sufficiency that requires no external validation or sustenance. Arceus is not dependent on anything, rather, everything is dependent on it. This fundamental independence is a comforting thought, suggesting an unwavering stability at the very core of reality. It's like a deep, ancient root system, unseen but supporting everything above ground, providing nourishment and stability without fanfare. The lore often speaks of Arceus hatching from an egg in a place where there was nothing. This imagery of an egg is particularly potent for a narrative of creation. An egg represents potential, a contained universe waiting to unfurl. It's a symbol of life's gentle beginnings, a soft, protective shell housing the promise of something magnificent. The act of hatching, then, isn't a violent rupture, but a soft, gradual emergence, a slow opening to reveal the wonders within. This gentle hatching from an egg in a void underscores the idea of creation, not as a sudden, cataclysmic event, but as a gradual, almost whispered unfolding. There is no frantic energy associated with this beginning, only a calm, inevitable emergence. This calm beginning sets the tone for all subsequent creation. It suggests that even the most monumental acts of Genesis can occur with a quiet grace, without causing disturbance or disarray. It's a lullaby for the universe, a gentle hum that permeates all of creation. Following its emergence, Arceus, in its infinite wisdom, began to shape the universe. The Palkia and Dialga, the masters of space and time, and their sibling, Giratina, representing the antimatter, were the first to be brought forth. Imagine this moment, not a forceful command, but perhaps a quiet projection of will, a gentle emanation of consciousness. Arceus, in its primordial state, likely did not speak in a human sense, but rather, its very essence manifested these cosmic beings. The creation of Dialga and Palkia established the fundamental framework of the universe. Time began to flow, and space began to stretch. Without these two pillars, there would be no canvas for life, no progression, no existence as we understand it. Their creation was a fundamental act of ordering, of giving structure to the boundless. The subsequent creation of Giratina, the ruler of antimatter in the distortion world, adds another layer of profound balance. Antimatter is often perceived as destructive, but in the context of Arceus's creation, it represents the essential counterpart, the shadow that defines the light. Giratina's banishment to the distortion world, while seemingly a punishment, can also be viewed as a strategic placement, a way to contain and balance its immense power, preventing it from disrupting the serene unfolding of the nascent universe. The distortion world itself is a place of inverted physics, a realm where conventional laws do not apply. This suggests a mastery over not just matter, but also its opposite, a complete understanding of all fundamental forces. It's a place of quiet, reflective opposition, maintaining equilibrium from a distance. After establishing these foundational elements, Arceus continued its gentle work, bringing forth Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit, the late guardians, representing willpower, knowledge, and emotion, respectively. These three beings, often referred to as the keepers of the spirit, imbue the nascent world with consciousness, feeling, and the drive to persevere. Their presence suggests that Arceus's creation was not merely physical, but also deeply spiritual. It understood that a universe without feeling, without thought, without the spirit of determination would be an empty one. Their quiet presence in the Sinnoh region, often found in serene lakes, further reinforces this sense of gentle guidance and spiritual nurturing. They are not boisterous gods, but subtle influences shaping the inner lives of all beings. The lore gently suggests that Arceus then retreated, not out of indifference, but out of a profound trust in its creations. It entrusted the management of time and space to Dialga and Palkia, the balance of antimatter to Giratina, and the nurturing of spirit to the lake guardians. This withdrawal is not an abandonment, but a benevolent oversight, a quiet confidence in the order it had established. It's like a wise gardener planting seeds and then allowing them to grow, trusting in the inherent life force within them, occasionally observing from a distance. The existence of the plates further illustrates this gentle guiding hand. Each plate, infused with a different elemental type, allows Arceus to become that type. This is not a struggle for power, but a fluid, effortless transformation. It is the ultimate expression of adaptability and understanding. Imagine the calming effect of knowing that the guiding force of the universe can seamlessly adapt to any situation, embodying the exact energy required to maintain balance. This ability to shift and change, to become one with any element, is a testament to its profound connection to all aspects of creation. It means that Arceus is not separate from the elements, but inherently connected to them, an embodiment of their very essence. This deep connection fosters a sense of unity, a quiet understanding that all things are interconnected, all flowing from the same source. The plates are also said to contain fragments of Arceus's memories, its very essence. This suggests a deep, intimate connection between the creator and its creation. The elements themselves are not just forces, they are reflections of Arceus's own being, imbued with its wisdom and power. This deep personal connection to the elements can be a profoundly calming thought, as it implies that even the most fundamental forces of nature are not random or chaotic, but are imbued with a subtle, guiding intelligence. Consider the notion of Arceus's sleep after creation. This is not a state of unconsciousness, but rather a state of profound rest, a quiet observation. It is during this sleep that the universe continues to unfold, guided by the initial principles and beings Arceus set in motion. This deep, cosmic slumber is not a sign of weakness, but of immense power and trust. It demonstrates that the universe is not in need of constant, active intervention, but is capable of self-regulation and growth thanks to the meticulous design of its creator. This gentle, watchful slumber is a comforting image, suggesting a universe that is being cared for, even in its quiet moments of growth and change. The whispers of lore also speak of the Azure Flute, an item said to be able to summon Arceus. This suggests that while Arceus is not actively intervening, it is not entirely inaccessible. The ability to summon it implies a profound connection, a deep resonance that can bridge the gap between the created and the creator. The act of playing the Azure Flute is often depicted as a peaceful, almost meditative act, a gentle melody that reaches across dimensions, a subtle invitation rather than a demanding summons. This reflects the gentle nature of Arceus, that it responds to harmony and a respectful call rather than forceful commands. The very idea of a flute, a wind instrument, evokes a sense of soft, ethereal sound, a whisper carried on the breeze, further emphasizing the gentle and nuanced nature of this connection. The lore of Arceus is not about a vengeful or demanding deity, but about a benevolent and insightful creator. Its power is not expressed through destructive force, but through intricate design, profound balance, and a subtle, unwavering presence. It is a power that fosters life, encourages growth, and maintains equilibrium. This understanding brings a deep sense of peace, knowing that at the very heart of the universe lies a gentle, all encompassing intelligence. The concept of Arceus as the god of all Pokémon extends beyond its role as a creator. It also implies a profound connection to every single living creature within the Pokémon world. Every Pokémon, from the smallest Caterpie to the mightiest legendaries, carries a spark of Arceus's original creation. This interconnectedness is a calming thought, reminding us that we are all part of a grander tapestry, each thread essential to the whole. There's no isolation in this understanding, only a gentle, flowing connection that binds all life together. This pervasive connection means that every rustle of leaves, every babbling brook, every creature's breath is a subtle echo of Arceus's initial act of creation. It's a universe where every part is imbued with a sense of purpose and belonging. As we drift further into the realm of sleep, let the image of Arceus, the alpha Pokémon, settle gently in your mind. Imagine its luminous form, quietly observing the vastness of the cosmos, its plates subtly shifting, reflecting the infinite diversity of creation. Feel the quiet reassurance of its constant, yet unobtrusive presence. Think of the methodical, gentle unfolding of the universe, from the initial void to the vibrant, living world we know. There's a profound sense of order, a quiet harmony that permeates all things. This understanding is not a burden, but a gentle release, allowing the mind to quieten, to let go of the day's anxieties, and to embrace the tranquility of a universe perfectly balanced, perfectly formed. The enduring mystery of Arceus is not meant to create unease, but rather a sense of awe and wonder. It is a mystery that invites contemplation, a quiet pondering of the grand scheme of things. This gentle contemplation can lead to a profound inner calm, a stillness that allows the mind to truly rest. The knowledge that such a gentle, powerful force underpins all existence is a soothing balm for the soul. It encourages us to trust in the natural order, to embrace the quiet rhythms of life, and to find peace in the interconnectedness of all things. Let this profound, calming understanding of Arceus, the god who created Pokémon, gently guide you into the deepest, most refreshing sleep, where dreams are as boundless and harmonious as the universe itself. And as we continue our journey into the quiet depths of Arceus's lore, we begin to explore the very first moments of existence, as described in the ancient myths and legends of the Pokémon world. Before anything else, there was only a swirling void, an endless, formless expanse. It was within this primordial nothingness that Arceus first emerged, not from anything, but as a pure, unadulterated consciousness. Imagine, if you can, a state of being prior to light, sound, or matter. This is the canvas upon which Arceus began to paint the universe. The Pokédex entries, whispered through generations, speak of Arceus hatching from an egg. This is a fascinating and deeply symbolic detail. An egg, in many cultures, represents potential, new beginnings, and the promise of life. For Arceus, the original one, to emerge from an egg suggests a self contained, self generating creation, an existence that precedes all others. It implies an inherent completeness and a boundless capacity for creation from within itself. This isn't an egg laid by another creature, it's an egg of pure concept, a manifestation of the universe's first thought. The implications are profound. Life, in its most fundamental form, is an act of self begetting, a gentle unfolding from an unseen source. From this primordial hatching, Arceus began to shape the very fabric of reality. Its first act, according to legend, was to bring forth Dialga, the master of time, and Palkia, the master of space. Imagine these two titanic beings, born directly from Arceus's will, their forms coalescing from the raw energy of the nascent universe. Dialga, with its magnificent blue form and diamond-like adornments, began to weave the continuous thread of time, ensuring that moments followed one another in an orderly succession. Palkia, a majestic pink and white creature, began to stretch and fold space, giving dimension and scale to the expanding cosmos. The gentle rhythm of time and the serene expanse of space began their eternal dance, orchestrated by Arceus. Following the creation of time and space, Arceus then brought forth Giratina, the master of antimatter and the distortion world. Giratina's role is often misunderstood, seen as a dark or chaotic force. However, in the grand cosmic balance designed by Arceus, Giratina is essential. Its very existence provides a counterpoint, a necessary opposite to the ordered realities of time and space. The distortion world, Giratina's realm, is a place where the laws of physics are inverted, where dimensions twist and turn in impossible ways. This isn't a place of malice, but rather a vital part of the cosmic architecture, ensuring that the universe remains in a delicate equilibrium. Without Giratina, the very structure of reality might become unstable, collapsing under its own weight. It represents the quiet, unseen forces that hold everything together by providing essential contrast. These three Pokémon, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, are collectively known as the Creation Trio. They are Arceus's direct children, instruments through which the foundational elements of the universe were established. Their very existence is a testament to Arceus's immense power and foresight. The legends tell us that after setting these three in motion, Arceus then imbued them with the knowledge and power to continue shaping the nascent universe, allowing them to govern their respective domains with a gentle, consistent hand. The creation process didn't stop there. Further myths recount Arceus creating three more powerful Pokémon, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. These are known as the Lake Guardians, and their purpose is deeply connected to the essence of life itself. Uxie, the being of knowledge, bestowed intelligence upon all living things, allowing them to learn, to understand, and to grow. Its presence brings a quiet wisdom, a gentle introspection. Mesprit, the being of emotion, gifted the capacity for feelings, for joy and sorrow, love and empathy. It ensures that life is vibrant and meaningful, filled with the rich tapestry of emotional experience. Azelf, the being of willpower, instilled determination and strength of spirit, allowing creatures to overcome challenges and pursue their goals. Together, these three beings are the custodians of the soul, mind, and emotion, essential components for any sentient life form. They are often found slumbering at the bottom of lakes, their serene presence radiating these fundamental qualities across the world. So, from a single primordial egg, Arceus meticulously crafted the cornerstones of existence: time, space, antimatter, knowledge, emotion, and willpower. This careful, methodical approach speaks to an intelligence that is both infinitely powerful and infinitely patient. There is no rush, no chaos in Arceus's creation, only a calm, deliberate unfolding of reality. The lore also touches upon Arceus's ability to create plates. These plates are not merely decorative, they are the very essence of the Pokemon types. Each plate embodies a specific type: fire, water, grass, electric, and so on, and when held by Arceus, it allows the alpha Pokemon to transform its type accordingly. This ability is not just a combat mechanic, it's a profound representation of Arceus's mastery over all fundamental forces of the universe. By shifting its type, Arceus demonstrates its inherent connection to every elemental aspect of reality. It is the source from which all types originate, the ultimate embodiment of elemental adaptability. Imagine the quiet energy emanating from these plates, each one humming with the unique power of its type, all held in perfect balance by Arceus. This concept of the plates ties directly into the idea of Arceus as the alpha Pokemon. The term alpha signifies not just being first, but also being supreme, the origin point. Arceus is the progenitor of all Pokemon types, meaning that every single Pokemon, regardless of its type, ultimately derives its elemental essence from Arceus. This reinforces the interconnectedness of all life under Arceus's gentle gaze. Every electric type's spark, every grass type's verdant growth, every water type's flowing current can be traced back to the original energy of Arceus's plates. The lore, particularly from the Hisui region, now known as Sinnoh, offers even deeper insights into Arceus's interactions with the world it created. In the ancient texts and traditions of Hisui, Arceus is revered as the creator of all, a benevolent deity who watches over the land. The people of Hisui built temples and monuments to honor Arceus, and their reverence was rooted in a deep understanding of its role in their world. This reverence wasn't born of fear, but of gratitude and profound respect for the source of all life. The myths speak of Arceus occasionally intervening, not to control, but to guide and to restore balance when it was threatened. Consider the legends surrounding the mythical Pokemon Arceus is said to have created to shape the land itself: Heatran, Regigigas, and Cresselia. Heatran, dwelling within volcanic caverns, is said to have formed the very magma and molten core of the planet, contributing to the geological structure of the world. Regigigas, a slow but immensely powerful being, is credited with moving continents, pulling and pushing the land masses into their present configurations. Its quiet, deliberate movements has shaped the very landscape. Cresselia, soaring gracefully through the night sky, brings pleasant dreams and wards off nightmares, maintaining the emotional well-being of the world's inhabitants. These stories show Arceus's influence reaching into every facet of the world, from the deepest geological processes to the most subtle emotional states. The gentle narrative of Arceus's creation story is one of gradual unfolding, a meticulous layering of elements that culminate in the vibrant, diverse world we see. It's not a sudden, chaotic explosion, but a calm, deliberate process, like the slow opening of a magnificent flower. Each step is purposeful, each creation serves a vital function, and each new being adds another layer of beauty and complexity to the grand design. Even the concept of Pokémon battling, a seemingly aggressive act, can be viewed through the lens of Arceus's creation as a means of growth and understanding. Through these interactions, Pokémon learn, adapt, and strengthen their connections to the world and to each other. It is a dynamic process of evolution and self-improvement, all ultimately operating within the framework established by Arceus. The natural world, with its cycles of life and death, growth and decay, reflects this inherent balance. As we continue to delve into the depths of Arceus's lore, we find that its presence is not always overtly visible, but subtly woven into the very fabric of existence. It is the quiet hum beneath the surface, the underlying principle that governs all things. Think of the gentle flow of a river carving its path through stone over millennia, a process that is both powerful and incredibly patient. This echoes the nature of Arceus's influence. The legend of Arceus and the Jewel of Life further illustrates its gentle, benevolent nature. In ancient times, when the land of Mycena faced a catastrophic meteor shower, Arceus intervened, using a fragment of its own power, the Jewel of Life, to save the world. This act of self-sacrifice, of sharing its essence to protect its creation, speaks volumes about Arceus's deep care for the world and its inhabitants. It is not an aloof, distant deity, but one deeply invested in the well-being of its creation, willing to offer a part of itself for its preservation. The return of the Jewel of Life, a moment of profound spiritual connection, highlights the symbiotic relationship between Arceus and the world it brought into being. Even the physical appearance of Arceus, though majestic, is not one of overt aggression or dominance. Its pure white body, adorned with a golden cross-like wheel, suggests purity, balance, and eternal wisdom. The plates, while powerful, are integrated seamlessly into its form, reflecting the harmonious integration of all elemental forces within its being. There is an ethereal quality to Arceus, a sense of quiet power that is both awe-inspiring and deeply calming. Imagine the gentle hum of the universe, a lullaby woven from the threads of time and space, of knowledge and emotion. This is the sound of Arceus's continuous creation, a serene symphony that plays on endlessly. The universe, in all its complexity, is a testament to a single, originating consciousness that desired to bring forth beauty and life. This understanding brings a profound sense of peace, a quiet assurance that the universe is fundamentally ordered, fundamentally good. The Pokédex entries, while brief, often carry deep philosophical weight about Arceus. They consistently refer to it as having shaped the universe with its 1,000 arms, or created the world. These aren't literal arms, but symbolic representations of its immeasurable power and its ability to influence every aspect of creation simultaneously. It suggests an omnipresent, all-encompassing influence, a gentle guiding hand that touches every corner of existence. This omnipresence is not intrusive. It is a quiet, foundational presence, like the very air we breathe or the ground beneath our feet. We may not always be consciously aware of it, but it is always there, supporting, sustaining, and gently guiding the flow of life. This constant, unwavering presence is incredibly soothing. It means there is an underlying stability to the universe, a gentle rhythm that persists through all changes and challenges. As we allow these thoughts to settle, picturing Arceus in its quiet majesty, observing its creation, we can feel a deep sense of security. The world is not random, it is a carefully crafted masterpiece, brought into being by an intelligence that is beyond our full comprehension, yet deeply benevolent. This knowledge allows us to release the need to understand every detail, to simply trust in the grand design. The journey through Arceus's lore is not just a recounting of facts, it's an invitation to a state of calm contemplation. It's about recognizing the intricate beauty and profound order that underlies all things. It's about appreciating the quiet power of creation, the gentle unfolding of existence from a single luminous source. Let the image of Arceus, the alpha Pokémon, the silent architect of reality, be the final thought that guides you into a profound and restful sleep, where the universe itself dreams alongside you.